countries. They deserve to be able to until their and can't take it anymore.
And these facilities won't go to waste. Once the Olympics are over, they'll be converted to a resort where Russian businessmen can come to their prostitutes.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live, and you're invited if you want to join us. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms. They're open and available to you over at discord.lrn.fm, so feel free to connect to any one of those, and we'll get you on the air here with us. You can talk about what you want. We are going to start the show tonight with the Iran situation that I guess developed sometime yesterday, late yesterday. I don't know if it was during Free Talk Live or just before it, but we didn't cover it at all yesterday, and tonight we definitely need to. So with you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Chris.
And Vincent.
So welcome back, Vincent. You were gone on a little winter's break.
First FTL of a decade for me.
So, and it's not good news that we have to open up with here. Donald Trump, the very same guy who talks out of one side of his mouth, in being about being in favor of, like withdrawing troops from countries around the world, being in favor of peace, called himself, peace president or something like that when he was running for office. And since he's been in office, he's kind of been like this mixed bag. On some cases, he seems to have done some de-escalation. For instance, in his talks with Kim Jong-un from North Korea, and then there was another example sometime this year where he objected to killing innocent people in a bombing. So, you hear those things, and it's like, okay, that's cool. And then you find out about just, basically a completely unauthorized, illegal, unconstitutional strike against targets in Iran yesterday. And you're like, okay, well, that's not the same, mentality at all. It's completely different. This is a total warmonger. This is the same guy who fired John Bolton. Now, I'm sure Bolton is very, very happy about this. The story here from Bloomberg, Donald Trump ordered the killing of a top Iranian general on Thursday, and in his characteristic style, the president made sure the world knew who was responsible. As reports filtered out from Iraq that Qasem Soleimani had been killed in a U.S. airstrike, some administration officials quietly acknowledged American involvement. Then a tweet from the president, an image of the American flag, absent any commentary. And finally, a statement from the Defense Department. Trump ordered a strike on Soleimani, leader of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Quds Force, to prevent attacks on U.S. personnel. So it was a preemptive strike? Is that what they're claiming?
Just because only one American contractor was killed and a few more were injured and some splash area damage. So it's like one, not that it's any sort of excuse, but it's just like over one person who wasn't even American personnel. He was a mercenary and employed by the government.
Really? And what was the alleged killing about? I'm not familiar with that.
So for that one, it was at the time in Baghdad, and for me, it's unclear. I know, Chris, you said you did a lot of research into it. I've just done research into like the aftermath of it. So there's been all of the past week, there's been protests outside the American embassy in Baghdad.
Okay.
And so the claim was, as it was happening, was that the people who were protesting were Iranian militia. That's what the what I saw the mainstream media was. The neocons. This is what the
Pentagon was saying.
Yeah, but they were Iranian militia. On Twitter and just people, other people who were generally anti-war was saying they were actual legitimate.
You mean they're pretty violent, right? Like what?
The footage I saw, because the Twitter, what I saw on Twitter, it was just people, chanting, the usual "Death to America," tearing up American flags, the usual of these sort of protests. But there were people moving around stones to use to throw at. That was the claim people were moving. So, there's a claim that there's violence, but at the same time,
you didn't see it.
No.
It's more than that. The U.S. is claiming that there was an attack by Iran through its support base of attacking a U.S. embassy.
So they believe that the people outside of the embassy were connected with the Iranian government,
right?
Basically,
and therefore this is their response to that, I guess.
So, like in a lot of cases, you just got to take their word for it.
Yeah.
Well, and it goes further. It was here. I just have the CNN pull it. Trump so they were claiming that Soleimani not only was he behind whatever attack, but that he was planning a very a very major attack that would have killed Americans. So that's the the main justification.
Just like they
for
claim that they had yellow cake and all the other lies that they told.
All right. So here's the problem. The American government is constantly planning attacks on its neighbors, its friends, its allies, everybody. I mean, you do that as a state. That's just what you do. Well,
I suspect if Ron Paul were in charge of it, they wouldn't be doing those things.
Maybe not Ron Paul.
I mean, that's what the American state does, but a lot of states around the world don't do that.
From a defensive standpoint, you probably are going to plan attacks because that's as a defensive measure at a minimum, but it doesn't necessarily mean you carry
attacks
out those
aren't
attacks.
Defensive.
Right, but planning out an attack in defense of an attack would make sense.
I thought that would be a counterattack.
A counterattack.
Yeah. Trump's decision to kill a man regarded as the second most powerful person in Iran was hailed by his allies as one of his boldest strokes in foreign policy and lambasted by critics as likely his most reckless. Trump defended the move Friday morning in a series of tweets saying Soleimani was planning to attack Americans. That attack came 2 days into Trump's re-election year, and while he faces an impeachment trial in the Senate, although I heard today that the House still has not moved the impeachment papers out of the House.
Yeah, Pelosi hasn't delivered them to the Senate, and so
until then, he's not facing anything.
Well, no. Well, I mean, he's facing it. It's not going to go away, but he doesn't have to.
Well, yeah. Well, if they never send the papers over, it's dead.
No. It's now we're talking about impeachment, but the rationale behind her not submitting the papers is Trump wants it over as soon as possible.
Okay.
But as long as she doesn't deliver the papers, right?
She can drag it out to the middle of the election. Or something.
To the election. Oh yeah.
So, raised the immediate suspicion among his opponents the decision was politically motivated, and repercussions extending to the possibility of war are unknown. As a private citizen in 2011, Trump publicly accused Barack Obama of planning war against Iran in order to secure his re-election because, quote, he's weak and he's ineffective, unquote. Is he doing the exact same thing as his predecessor? But as president, Trump has shown, first by his withdrawal of U.S. forces from Syria in September, that was a good move, right? The more withdrawals of troops, the better. But now with the strike on Soleimani, that he will act in what he believes are the best interests of the country. This is, again, the Bloomberg piece here. Even in the face of potential consequences, he and his advisors can in no way confidently predict. Well, I think you can confidently predict that if you attack people in other parts of the planet, that at some point somebody's going to go. They're going to get you back. That I think you can be pretty confident.
And this isn't the first tit for tat that's gone on.
Right.
If you remember, the U.S. attacked Iran's civilian nuclear program with a virus, a computer virus that basically shut it down.
When was this?
That was under Obama. That was under the Obama administration.
It wasn't that long ago. It was it was in recent history. And then I'm trying to think what else happened. We also had
the Iranians. Then they shot down a U.S. drone that was over their territory.
Yes, and that was much more recent. The drone over U.S.
I believe it was still while Obama was
over. Well, no, it was a U.S. drone over Iranian territory. I believe, that they shot down, and then Trump was going to send in I don't know, he was going to send in bombs or something, and it was like in retaliation, which is absolutely insane considering it was in Iranian territory. But anyway,
and resolve the sanctions that the U.S. not only the U.S. but all the U.S.'s allies, and even the U.S. is trying to get non-allies to just a whole world to put all these sanctions against Iran.
Right, and the U.S. involvement in Iran goes back for decades.
Right, and don't forget that if you're a country and you want to do business, like free trade with the U.S., you have to obey the U.S.'s restrictions on trade with Iran. So I mean, it's certainly more. It's one thing if it's you're choosing to do something of your own free will, like a country does it, but when they're doing it because of another country,
We got more on the way here. And when you say country, you mean governments?
Yeah, governments.
Right. Okay. 855 450 free because I didn't choose this.
Right.
And what is the country? Right. And some would define country as just the plot of land. Not necessarily the government agents. Toll-free number 855 450 free. We'll analyze more of what's going on with the strike against Iranian targets. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app.
Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting libertycon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's libertycon.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit divvyproject.org. divvyproject.org.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict, or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
There are basically two types of advertising: direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up what you want here. Your comments are welcome on not just the Iran thing, which apparently actually happened in Iraq. I missed that little detail. They killed an Iranian.
It was really funny. It was at the Baghdad airport. Was that really where it happened? At the Baghdad airport. So it's bizarre. Like, you would think that an Iranian official wouldn't enter Iraq.
But apparently he did.
But I guess he did,
and that's one of the reasons why they're using it to justify it. And what people assume he was doing was he was coordinating the Shiite militias in Iraq. That was part of his job, was to coordinate Iran's proxies. There's allegedly all over the world. So in Syria, in Hezbollah, they say is a proxy. So
this sounds a little far fetched, though, don't you think?
No, that's real. I mean, no, it's admitted. He was the head of their special forces.
No, that's not what I mean. I mean, he's the second top person in the country, according to I think the U.S. government even admitted it. So I mean, as a second person in a country, top person in the country, you would think that they wouldn't leave the country.
You'd think he'd be keeping himself protected.
Unless he was, So it kind of,
because obviously Iraq is, crawling with U.S. military, right?
Right. So you would think that there was some assurance, that he wouldn't be killed by the U.S. So that seems like the U.S. does have a policy of not killing politicians.
Well, this guy isn't he like a general?
Yeah, well, he is, but
in these military-dominated societies like that of Iran, a lot of the times there's a blur. There's a blur between politics and military.
Well, usually being a high-level military person is a political position. You're appointed or promoted.
Keep in mind, the president of the United States is also a military commander.
Well, no, he's a civilian. He's the commander of the. He's commander in chief, but the president still considered civilian, right? That's why they say it's important that the military is controlled by the civilian government. I mean, so it's not like there's someone in the military who has total control of the military.
How does that not make you a military, somebody in the military?
Well, because he doesn't have a rank. He's he's president, so he directs them, but he doesn't have a rank.
What relevance is rank? I mean, that seems to be ridiculous to say it's that
Supreme Commander sounds like a rank to me.
Right.
Well, no, he's commander in chief.
Whether or not to have a military rank, it seems
because it's outside.
Insane.
If it's in the military,
he controls
so if it's
the military.
general or field
how can you possibly argue
because
that
he's part of the civilian? He's the head of he's the executive head of the civilian government, so he doesn't have a rank, as in he's not a general, right? That could be appointed, but that's I'm talking about within it's because military and government
he doesn't have a rank, but he's still in charge completely of the military.
Yes.
I mean, it's really just it's all mincing words, but that's what you expect from government. Yeah. So we'll go on here. Toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. LibertyStickers.com. You want to reach people with the ideas of liberty. Maybe you're anti-war, for instance. I get some great anti-war stickers over at LibertyStickers.com. You can do it from the back of your car and reach thousands of people with a bumper sticker, and people love to read them. You can check out the vast selection of witty, poignant, pithy, and downright bombastic, liberty-oriented messages at LibertyStickers.com. As we continue here, the story from Bloomberg that Donald Trump ordered apparently the killing of a top Iranian general. And this happened in Iraq, allegedly at the airport there. Trump then defended the claim, defended the attack, claiming that Americans were under threat by this man, Qasem Soleimani, which, of course, again, you just have to believe the U.S. government. They would never lie to you.
Well, I mean, I don't doubt that this guy did have plans to kill Americans, but the question is, why would he want to have planned to kill Americans, right? And it's like you see in the media.
How long do you have to plan for before you actually do something?
Well, it's like there's a plan as in plan A, plan B, and then there's plan as in okay, we're 50% progression with the.
So hold on,
campaign.
The U.S. said something about 250. It was also they said something about killing 250 Americans or something to that effect, right?
As in a plan to?
No, they did. Okay, so Iran has killed the United States has claimed that Iran has killed through third parties effectively 250 Americans. Okay, so
over what time frame?
The past maybe year, I'm thinking.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that, but something along those lines. And so this is kind of justification. But what we're forgetting is that the U.S. has killed millions of people.
Yep. Innocent, peaceful people.
Right, mostly innocent people, civilians.
In Syria, there was little planning for the aftermath. The White House was braced for potential Iranian retaliation within U.S. borders, two officials said. One said the government was on a heightened alert, but the details of the administration's preparations weren't immediately clear. Oil prices apparently spiked more than 4% in the immediate aftermath of the attack. Not sure what that has to do with anything. But preceding the strike, Trump's government fell into silence.
Well, that's a huge oil-producing region, Ian. I mean, even though they like to tout, or Sean Hannity likes to tout, that the U.S. it's exporting its own oil now. It's not dependent on Middle Eastern oil. A lot of oil does go through the Strait of Hormuz, right? That's where that Iran controls. So, a lot of the world, because OPEC controls a lot of the world's oil supply. So that's why oil prices would have spiked.
Preceding the strike, Trump's government fell into silence. A Washington businessman who had scheduled dinner with a White House aide staying at the president's Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida said the meal was suddenly canceled, and Trump aides went dark. Immediately after Soleimani's death, calls to press officers at the State Department went straight to voicemail. Later, one State Department official questioned whether the White House had thought through the next steps in its escalating confrontation of the Islamic Republic. Political reaction fell along familiar party lines, buoyant praise from many Republican lawmakers, and a string of Democratic statements that criticized Soleimani, blamed the deaths of hundreds of American servicemen Soleimani was blamed for the deaths of hundreds of American servicemen during the Iraq War. Maybe that's what you're referring to with the 250 number that you brought up. Before questioning the wisdom of Trump's move, Secretary of State Michael Pompeo tweeted a video that he said showed Iraqis dancing in the street over Soleimani's death. A spokesbureaucrat for Trump's campaign said on Fox News the killing was, quote, the greatest foreign policy accomplishment, I would say, of the decade, if not our lifetime, and sent, quote, the unmistakable message that if you mess with Americans, you'll pay a price as a terrorist.
All right. So if this is the case, if it's been the Iraq War, how long's the Iraq War been going on?
It's not over yet, from what I can tell.
Well, the war, because when you think of the Iraq War, they call it different phases, right? Where you have the first phase where, it was against Saddam. You have a government of Iran, its standing army. But then you have the insurgency.
Are you talking about in the 90s or the newer
No, I'm
Iraq
talking
War?
about the current. I'm talking about the 2003 one. Then you have the insurgency, which was allegedly declared to be done a few years ago, and then mysteriously ISIS suddenly shows up.
It seems trivial. Like the 250 number seems trivial compared to what the U.S. has done, and that doesn't justify what Iran has done. Well, actually, it kind of does, only in the sense that they're actually attacking an enemy combatant, as opposed to the United States actually attacked civilians,
innocent people.
Well, the argument is that the U.S. hasn't. The U.S. and Iran aren't at war, and so that's it's.
Well, that's not an official declaration of war.
Well, no,
but
yeah,
some would argue that
proxy
this
conflict,
was a act of war. I actually saw an interview with Tulsi Gabbard today on Fox News, and there's no Congress declaration of war against Iran, and a strike against the top Iranian general or whatever is definitely an act of war.
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
It was, they have different arguments. And I just want to say, they always mention, they've been mentioning the Iraqis dancing in the street as if it was any sort of support. But the Iraqi prime minister is way against this. He's condemned it.
The toll-free number here, 855-450, free like freedom. You can join the show, bring up whatever's on your mind, 855-450-3733. And this is Free Talk Live. Plus, we got the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. This is Free Talk Live.
Balance of Nature, changing the world one life at a time.
Your product is absolutely amazing. I can't tell you how my life has been changed so completely. I'm just at a loss to describe. I don't know how I could ever tell Dr. Howard and Susan, his dear wife, how much I deeply appreciate all of the work they put into this magnificent product. I mean, there's so many things that have improved, and I'm only just beginning.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we will take an additional 35% off of your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of
where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
Yep, it's Free Talk Live. You're invited to join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Tonight, it's Ian.
And Chris.
And Vincent.
Good nutrition is key to looking and feeling great, but eating right all the time can be a challenge. Travel and work schedules can get in the way, or maybe you just don't have the desire or time to shop and cook the right foods. Balance of Nature can help you with just 3 of their Balance of Nature fruit capsules and 3 of their veggie capsules. You get 10 servings of fruits and vegetables, and that's a lot of nutrition. If you'd like to take advantage of the preferred customer offer, which gives you the best pricing and free shipping, and plus a bonus after your 3rd month, Balance of Nature will ship to you at no charge an additional set of fruits and veggies. You can do that by going to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL to get that offer. That's balanceofnature.com with code FTL, like Free Talk Live. We're talking about the Iran situation. You can bring up what you want, of course. It is Free Talk Live. There's a lot more to say about it. Ralph is on the line, calling from Maine. Ralph, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, I'm looking at a tweet from Michael Moore where he's posting a New York Times front page that says, impeachment vote in House delayed as Clinton launches Iraq airstrike, citing military need to move swiftly. Trump's facing impeachment. Netanyahu is facing indictment. War will get you out of trouble, I guess, and get people's attention deflected.
So you think this was a move to distract from the impeachment process?
Well, Netanyahu and his terror gang that run Israel, they've wanted this for a long time. I mean, you know that. And
I don't know a whole lot about the Middle East. I'll take your word for it.
Pardon?
I said I don't know a whole lot about the Middle East. I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
I don't pretend to know something, if I don't know it.
I mean, I do. It's true. Yeah, Netanyahu's banking on a war with Iran. He's even expressed that his desire for a war for Iran. So yeah, he's the biggest warmonger of them all, Netanyahu.
Constantly for decades, and you can't believe anything. This Trump mentioned El Baghdadi. The number one terrorist that they assassinated. Mm-hmm. He didn't mention that John McCain went over to Syria and met with him and supported him. There's pictures of them together. But John McCain's a hero, And let's not forget Epstein, and his madam that procured children for scores for his by the scores for his blackmail ring of the rich and powerful. Ghislaine Maxwell is still free and out there. Nobody's investigating her. Nobody's asking questions. Man, it's like a ring. But all these same people, and they're bloodthirsty. They don't care who they kill.
No, they don't. They just care about power and control.
Exactly. And really, it's why is Trump and Netanyahu part of this Shabbat cult that isn't even the like I said the other night.
What is that? What is the Shabbat cult?
Oh, I've heard as Chabad, right? Chabad. There's different pronunciations.
You're saying it's a silent C.
It's a cult. It's a cult in Judaism, just like the Wahhabis, in Saudi Arabia, are a cult in Islam. And these Christian Zionists over here, that's a cult. They all believe in the end days and everything's got to explode and we all got to die and then the Savior is going to come.
You're right about that, Ralph. Thank you for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. He's right. These you've talked about these guys on your show.
Yeah. It sounded like an episode of my show.
The questioning
probably like it.
Questioning Authority is your show, Vincent. You do it on Saturdays at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 to midnight on LRN.FM. Is there a website that people could go to get archives?
Yeah. shirefreemedia.com/show. You should be able to get the archives there.
So shirefreemedia.com for that. You talk a lot about these Zionist types.
Oh yeah, and
Christian
Chabad.
Zionists, these people who want to hasten, supposedly they believe that Jesus hasn't come back yet and they want to have war in the Middle East, specifically over Israel, in order to bring this sooner. They believe they can hasten.
It's not even the war thing. What they want to do is they want to have access to the area of the Dome on the Rock, right? Because that's
which is in Israel.
Yes, it's in Jerusalem, right? And Jerusalem's supposed to be an international city, and the Dome on the Rock, it has significance for for Jews, Christians, and Muslims.
Mm-hmm.
After the temple, right? That's where they believe was the location of the second temple, which is very important for Judaism end times prophecy and Christian end times prophecy, and by getting rid of it, obviously to rebuild the temple, right? Both Jews and Christian Zionists believe that the temple has to be rebuilt, or not. These Chabad people
was
and
it
Christian
destroyed
Zionists,
or something?
Yeah, it was destroyed by the Romans, and so they believe that it has to be rebuilt in order for the sacrifice for Jews, for the daily sacrifice to be performed, and for Christians in order for the Antichrist to take seat in the third temple, and so. By getting rid of a Dome on the Rock, most people assume that it'll infuriate the Muslim world and there'd be some sort of war. And you see some of these Zionists or Chabad people say that they hope that a rocket one day is just going to go stray and blow up the dome, and there's all this stuff like Netflix.
Wait, I thought you said it was already destroyed. And
no. The dome has been so when the Muslims conquered Jerusalem, they built the Dome on the Rock.
Okay.
So the dome is currently there,
but it needs to be destroyed and then rebuilt.
That's what they
want.
To
follow this crazy
I'm sorry.
claptrap.
It's so
just so crazy.
I mean, they believe that it has to be
Jesus
destroyed.
won't come back until this man-made dome has been destroyed.
The Christian Zionists, that's what they believe, and
even though the Muslims didn't exist when the Bible was written.
Well, no, I mean, so the reason is when Jesus said the end times are going to come, he said there'd be an evil one sitting in the temple. Right, or the Antichrist would be seated at the throne, which a lot of these people view to mean the temple. But at the same time, Jesus said that within a few years the temple is going to be destroyed.
And the temple's the same thing as the dome? I'm sorry, I'm
the
getting
dome,
mixed up.
The temple is what the dome is built on top of, or the ground.
So the temple was destroyed.
Yes, the temple was destroyed.
The dome was then built on top of the temple.
Yes.
But these Christian Zionist types want to rebuild the temple. They want to destroy the dome and rebuild a temple. So a dome's not enough of a temple for them.
No. The dome isn't the temple. No, the dome is the dome was the dome was built by the Muslims. They need the temple, and I hesitate to even call these people the Christian Zionist Christian, because what they believe is that they believe that they could tell God what to do. They believe that God will do what they want, just as they have to do.
They just have to trigger a thing.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
What do you think about all this, Chris? I mean, it sounds like a bunch of poppycock, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Well, but people in power believe it. No, I'm just going to say.
I kind of feel like maybe we should just be destroyed, rebuilt. That way we can show them all that
nothing will happen.
Nothing will happen.
but then that'll start a war. That might start a war, because all the a lot of
as long as it's a localized war that involves just the dome, I'm okay with that.
And I mean, I do agree that it does sound ridiculous, but the important thing is that people in power, people like whether or not Netanyahu is just a political opportunist or not, but people with a lot of money, Sheldon Adelson, Trump, the Chabad people, and a lot of people follow them too. I think the Varevi had, who was a big guy in Chabad. They thought he was the Messiah. Had like millions of people following it. So like a lot of people are into it, a lot of people in power. And so that's why people got to pay attention to it. That's why we got to track this stuff, because, they want to start wars over this. They want to kill people over this. It's horrifying.
It's crazy. If you want to join the show, you can. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. So back to the story here about this Iranian general who was murdered by the U.S. government attacks yesterday. Democrats warned of, and I'm not saying he was a good guy. I'm sure he's awful, just like any, government goon. But is this going to escalate matters? There's a good chance. Democrats warned of unpredictable consequences and said Trump should have informed Congress of such a provocative move. Well, no, he shouldn't have informed Congress. If he wants to go to war, Congress is supposed to vote to go to war. But then again, that hasn't happened since, what, World War II? I'm pretty sure that was the last time Congress voted to go to war.
Oh, yes. But Obama, waged, under their NDAA, and they could wage undeclared war, right? Obama killed all sorts of people in Pakistan, which we've never been at war with. So that's a justification. And that's the thing, all these Democrats who are kvetching about it. I mean,
Obama and Bush laid the groundwork for this.
Oh, exactly, yeah.
Trump tossed a stick of dynamite into a tinderbox, said Joe Biden. And he owes the American people an explanation of the strategy, he said.
Strategy. I think he owes the American people an apology.
He owes the Iranian people an apology.
Both. He owes both people an apology.
The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. But being in government means never having to say you're sorry.
Yeah.
Because you can just keep taxing and taxing and taxing and doing whatever you want, dropping as many bombs as you please, because this is going to make a lot of people happy. What will this end up doing with his re-election chances? Will it increase the likelihood or not? Are Americans seething for war again?
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
We all hear the stories in the news. The good guy uses a gun to protect his family from criminals, and he's the one arrested. The legal system is not fair, and responsibly armed Americans are political targets. So here's how you can take a simple and rewarding journey to complete self-defense confidence. Simply text GCN to 87222. To discover how the USCCA can give you the training, education, legal, and financial protection you need to truly protect the people you love. Don't risk everything and leave your family vulnerable. Now it's time to prepare and protect yourself. So if you're ready to take your next step as a responsibly armed American, you're ready to truly become your family's ultimate protector. Text GCN to 87222. Discover your life-saving USCCA member benefits today. Again, that's text GCN to 87222.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at HBX hpextract.com. Or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hpextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. The toll-free number, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Bring up anything that you want on Free Talk Live. You don't have to talk about the Iran situation, but you certainly can. By the way, I want to say thank you to Alistair, who is a Free Talk Live Gold amplifier. Alistair contributing $10 per month to the Free Talk Live AMP program. And AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. And the idea is you can help us get on more radio stations around the U.S. to talk about the ideas of peace and liberty and freedom, cryptocurrency, the things that we like to talk about here on Free Talk Live, which don't get discussed on pretty much any other radio show anywhere. So if you appreciate the work that we do, please take a moment and go to amp.freetalklive.com. It's ampamp.freetalklive.com. And that is where you can sign up with PayPal or credit card or Bitcoin BTC at amp.freetalklive.com. As we continue here, we've been discussing the attack on an Iranian person, a general, supposedly the number 2 guy in Iran at the time. He has been allegedly taken out, and well, that's what we're discussing, just sort of the overarching themes and issues that are present there. And Vincent, as you were talking about, there's all these people, these so-called Christian Zionists who believe that there's a temple in Jerusalem that was destroyed originally. There's now a dome that's been built there by Muslims, that the dome must be destroyed, the temple rebuilt in order to hasten Jesus' return. Is that right? Did I understand that correctly?
Yeah, that's the Christian side of it. And Mike Pompeo, who's the Secretary of Defense,
and he's one of them.
Oh, yeah, is an outright stated Christian Zionist where soldiers would complain about him talking about the end of a world and war during official meetings. And then then you have like the Zionist Zionists who are a lot of them are in the very far right ultra Orthodox parties in Israel. And Netanyahu's one of them, who also want to bring about the end times because they believe that their Messiah will come back when the temple is rebuilt.
I just don't understand. Like, even if you believe that the whole Messiah coming back story, this Jesus Christian story, what's the rush? I mean, is life really that bad here? I mean, people are wealthier than they've ever been on this planet. The planet, despite Trump, is more peaceful than it's ever been. The amount of freedom seems to be, in a lot of ways, there's more things we can do now than we could do before. We have more leisure time. There's like a lot of good things about life. We were just doing a story recently about how the last decade was the best decade on the history of the planet. Like, why are these guys in such a rush to just end it all?
Well, for them, it's because it's a power thing, right? They want power.
Yeah.
I mean, I would just,
but they're using the Christ thing as an excuse, suggesting that that's going to end the world, right? Like, if that happens, that Jesus will come back and there will be a rapture, right? And then all the good people will be taken out of...
Well, most
right?
of these Zionists believe in a pre-tribulation rapture where things will start. Well, I mean, also, they don't, like... I could certainly debate whether things are better or worse as a whole, but they also believe
people are being lifted out of poverty globally in tremendous numbers.
I think they're just taking advantage of psychologically deranged individuals for a power grab.
Well, yeah. So what you're saying, you don't think they actually believe the Christ story?
No.
That's just an excuse?
I think that's just the avenue in which people utilize to seek power, more and more power, as they move up the ranks within those particular religious organizations.
Could be. Let's talk to Rick. He's in Michigan. You're on Free Talk Live, watching us on YouTube. Go ahead, Rick.
Yeah, I know you're all talking about Christianity. I want to know some of the end time stuff that's going on. So I just wanted to chirp in some of my beliefs.
You're on the air.
Yeah. So from right here, I'm reading from Deuteronomy 7:16 that says, "Ye who is of black skin is full of sin, and that ye shall be of the."
That's not what it actually says. So
I couldn't understand his accent.
He was attacking black people. Was what he was saying. Pretty lame. Toll-free number 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. As we continue, we go back to the story here at, what was it? I think Bloomberg had it, that they took this guy out. He was at the airport. Oh, Joe Biden comments saying, Trump just tossed a stick of dynamite into a tinderbox, and he owes the American people an explanation of the strategy. Now, as you pointed out, it was during the break. Biden is also a warmonger.
Yeah, not as big as the other ones. I did some more research, but he said that back at when Obama was first put in, that the Iranian Revolutionary Guard ought to be labeled as a terrorist organization. And so, when something's labeled as a terrorist organization, the regular rules of war won't apply.
Right. So Biden,
regardless, he's still a hypocrite in this situation.
Yeah. Well, he was the vice president, so he was.
These are opportunists, I think, is what it comes down to. They're taking advantage of the situation, and if war is to their benefit, they'll support it.
Right, and so Biden isn't actually against war with Iran. He just wants an explanation. That's all.
He doesn't want war now. He wants war tomorrow
when he's in charge.
It's to his advantage, yeah.
There you go. According to the story here at Bloomberg, the action was taken without the consultation of Congress, said Nancy Pelosi in a statement, which of course is true about things Barack Obama did and George Bush and Bill Clinton. The full Congress must be immediately briefed on this serious situation and on the next steps under consideration by the administration, including the significant escalation of the deployment of additional troops to the region. Well, what if he doesn't? Are you going to impeach him?
Well, didn't they already say they're sending 3,500 troops to the Middle East more?
Maybe. I believe it. I don't know.
I believe I read that here in some of the stories I was reading on this.
And when I was reading up on Joe Biden's history with Iran, he said that if Bush attacked Iran preemptively without congressional approval, he would file articles of impeachment.
The next move is likely the Iranian government's to make. Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei vowed that, quote, severe retaliation, unquote, awaits Soleimani's killers, according to a statement broadcast on state media. And the country's foreign minister, Javad Zarif, called the attack, quote, an extremely dangerous and foolish escalation. On Twitter, it said the U.S. will bear, quote, responsibility for consequences of its rogue adventurism, unquote. The state-run Tasnim news agency said 3 days of mourning had been declared by the government. Michael Singh, managing director of the Washington Institute for Near East Policy, said a former senior director for Middle East Affairs under George Bush said, quote, the U.S. will need to be ready. So
I wonder who they're actually going to try and kill in that case. Would it be Trump as he gave the order, or is it the people who hit the button that sent the missile down? And how are they going to find these people? Or
They're
is it
not
just
going to
mean
find
anybody that's
No,
like
it'd just
American?
be like a terrorist attack or an attack on a base or so, if anything at all.
Yeah, I mean, the odds that
it's
they would go
just-
after the actual people who did it would
It's
be
just
very
I find it humorous that they're using the word murderer. Like, I mean, who is the murderer in this particular case exactly?
Well, yeah, that's always the question. Is it the man who orders the attack or the man who pushes the button?
Right.
Which one's the killer?
Well, like according to Nuremberg, both are.
Yeah. Of course, no one's going to be held responsible for this in any way, shape, or form. There's not
according
going
to
be any.
sorry, I'll amend it. Even according to Nuremberg, anyone in the same room or within the vicinity is also guilty of that.
Really?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, if it's they go after like going after cooks and doctors now.
Are they still?
People in their 90s.
Under that logic, would they not also have to go after the people they imprisoned?
What do you mean by that? The people they
The
imprisoned?
Jews or whoever else.
Why would they
just
be
because
on?
they were there?
Because they were in the room. Because the servant, the guy who came in to serve the.
Because they didn't want to be there.
Well, a lot of people didn't want to be there either, but they did it because they were scared, right? Like, you don't say no.
Oh yeah, and I mean, they were like drafting old people and children by the end of the war. So like everyone was being forced into a uniform to do something.
Yep.
The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. Headline from The Onion, posted by one of our chatters on the Discord server, Malarkey 2020. Christ calls off plans for return after realizing it's been so long, it'll be weird now.
Speaking of drafting, I saw in the CNN, the Selective Service website has crashed today.
Really?
Oh yeah, because
Why?
because people are worried there's going to be a war for Iran, and to make sure they've actually signed up for Selective Service.
You think that's what the people would do if they were worried about a war, is to make sure they signed up?
I would be doing the exact opposite.
Yeah.
I'd be like, how do I get my name off that list?
Well, you have to be on the list, otherwise you get charged or prosecuted.
I don't think so.
Oh yeah, everyone has
Find
to put
an
it on.
example of the prosecution.
So Ian, no, he's right. That's what
that's what the threat is. But I want to see an example of them prosecuting someone for it.
Hey, if there's, if it was in Muhammad Ali, was he prosecuted or did he flee to Canada? I forget. I think Muhammad Ali.
Well, now that was during the time of drafting.
Oh yeah. And
there's no draft at this time
because people are worried they might have to implement a draft.
Well, but look, what you're saying is the Selective Service threatens people. It threatens young men and says if you don't,
and women now.
Really?
Oh yeah. Equality. Yay for equality.
They say if you don't sign up for the draft that doesn't exist, then they could come after you with charges, penalties, etc. But I challenge you to find an example of them actually doing it. So I don't think they will.
But as soon as war is declared, and in wartime, we're going to start prosecuting people for it.
They might. I want to say I never did voluntarily sign up for the Selective Service. So
and they didn't come after you.
Of course not. And they knew where I was.
The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. Now, supposedly they'll deny you like federal loans and federal jobs or whatever, but so what?
Yeah.
I don't want any of that crap. 855-450-FREE. That's the toll-free number. You can bring up whatever you want. Coming up in hour number 2. Plus, we can talk about a robot dog.
You love Bitcoin. It's the future, right? Well, no, not if everyone stops using it. I mean, think about it. How many places in your town take Bitcoin? One? None? Let's be real. If this Bitcoin thing is ever going to happen, it's going to need your help. The good news is the guys at AnyPay have your back. We built a website called helpmetakebitcoin.com, and it's a place you can send any business, and they'll be set up to take Bitcoin in 5 minutes. helpmetakebitcoin.com.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,521, silver at $17.89, and Bitcoin is trading around $7,139. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at InnoScale.net. In the news, a number of Russian soldiers were badly beaten and airlifted to a hospital after a fistfight with American troops in Syria last week. According to the UK-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, the incident occurred on December 25th in the city of Tal Tamar in northeast Syria. When U.S. troops arrived to collect information from local residents, the latter reportedly reacted negatively and accused the Americans of betraying them with the withdrawal of U.S. forces from the area. Russian soldiers in the area then confronted the Americans, at which point they argued. That led to a fistfight between the soldiers. No weapons were used, and no major casualties were reported at first. It was then revealed that 3 of the Russian soldiers were beaten so severely that they required urgent medical attention. According to Russian media outlet The Military Review, the Israeli media also drew attention to the incident, although the Russian Defense Ministry has officially denied that it even took place. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices, with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Thousands of Iraqi protesters attacked various parts of the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad on Tuesday, after U.S. airstrikes killed dozens of Iran-backed Iraqi militia over the weekend. The attack on the embassy has been widely documented on Twitter, with videos and pictures showing the destruction. The Mind Unleashed reports that one freelance journalist recorded the moment when the angry mob chanted, quote, "No, no to America, no, no to Israel," end quote, outside of the embassy in Baghdad's Green Zone. The Times of Israel's Mina Bai tweeted a video of what appears to be part of the embassy on fire. More videos show protesters burning the outer walls of the embassy. The U.S. airstrike on Sunday on Hezbollah bases in Iraq and Syria was in response to attacks on U.S. troops in the region. ABC News said there had been no reports of any embassy staff hurt in the current rampage. All security forces have been withdrawn to the inner areas of the embassy. One day after Colorado and western Nebraska counties reported a series of mysterious nocturnal drone flights, the Federal Aviation Administration is promoting a rule change that requires most drones to be identifiable remotely, a report said Monday. The rule change, announced Thursday, has been in the works for more than a year. That's according to FAA spokesman Ian McGregor in an email to the Denver Post. Under the legislation, law enforcement, federal security agencies, and the FAA would be allowed to identify drones flying through their jurisdiction. Activist Post reports a squadron of drones has been flying above a total of 5 Midwestern states every night for more than 2 weeks, leaving both residents and officials wondering who's flying them and what purpose they are serving. Sheriffs in Lincoln, Washington, and Sedgwick counties in Colorado and Nebraska say their offices have been inundated with calls about the devices. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
I'm getting joined by Ellie Granderson. She's going to put a feminine scope on these lace kerchief starbuggers and give us her lady opinion. Ellie?
Hi, Joe.
You know, it riles me up every time you walk in here, Ellie. You set my blood to dancing with all your pillowy parts.
Oh, stop it, Joe.
Now give it to me, no fimble famble, Ellie. When we start dusting these rocket boys' lily white bottoms with baby puff?
Joe, since the end of the Cold War, NASA has basically functioned as a giveaway to the American aerospace industry, wasting trillions of taxpayer dollars every year on extravagant programs with no tangible benefit.
Finds a plum to look at, all the sense of a badger to boot.
Joe.
Now I've been thinking on, I got these three little chickens pecking on my head while save NASA some coin. Man wants to go to space, can strap on the helmet, climb in the cannon, let the Chinese gunpowder carry him off among the stars. He'll come back now. Gonna skin a fox in one throat, and you're gonna fancy on it.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms. They're over at discord.lrn.fm. We got some more analysis of this Iran attack. Technically, the attack was in Iraq, apparently, at the airport, but against an Iranian official, a general, the alleged second in command out there. And I know, Vincent, you had a story from Mint Press News about the motives behind the Soleimani assassination. We'll get into that.
We pretty much already covered
you
it.
Did? Okay,
yeah, because
I
mean, you know, both Israel and the warmongers, they both want war.
That's what you were going to say it was.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's pretty much what they say it is. War with Iran. That they've been wanting it for a while.
I thought it was going to be something more specific. Okay, well, yeah, we know they want war. I mean, that's what the warmongering state does. The war is the health of the state. I mean, when the state's not at war, it's not as in charge, right? Like, people fall in line when the state goes to war. They get behind their men in uniform, and, you know, it doesn't matter if we disagree with what they're doing. We've got to support our men in uniform.
Well, too bad. I'll just say that Iraq is split. You know, I mean, as we said, that Iran uses proxies, and Iraq is split between Sunni and Shia Muslims. And this guy, what he's been doing was, according to the Iranian general who was killed, he was the one who was effective in the fight against ISIS, where the ground fight. You know, the U.S. Trump tried to take credit for destroying ISIS with the airstrikes and everything, but the people on the ground fighting ISIS have been Syrian army and militia, Iranian militia, and the and the Russians. And so this last province that ISIS is holed up in, the U.S. has demanded that Syria and Iran don't attack it because, you know, the Kurds are involved in everything. And so, I mean, in this case, the U.S. in a sense is protecting ISIS by killing its number one ground enemy there. And with Trump's and the last piece of analysis I suppose I could add is I listened to Trump's speech on it, and it was the most Orwellian thing I've ever heard the man say, where he said, by attacking, we don't want war. By doing this attack, we're preventing
it's a peace
war.
Attack.
Well, yeah, he said we're preventing by attacking them. He's preventing a war.
Yeah,
and
that's total doublespeak.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Let's go to your calls and thoughts. You can bring up whatever you want here. We've got, first up, Dalton is on the line in Nebraska. You're on Free Talk Live with Ian, Chris, and Vincent. Go ahead, Dalton.
Yeah, you know who's responsible for this ordeal with Iran is the same people who are responsible for all the wars in the world. The Jew!
Uh-huh. Why do you have to yell? You think you can't get your point across without yelling?
Mel Gibson said it better.
Because you people don't get the point that the Union is responsible for all the wars. This is
so you're saying Trump is Jewish?
Well, he's surrounded by Jews.
Well, he's also surrounded by Christians.
He's surrounded by the Jews. The Jews are a bigger problem than Christians.
Okay, so war is okay if the Christians go to war?
Are you a Christian? Anti-Semite. Yes.
You're a Christian? You don't sound like a Christian.
Yes. What are you?
A Christian is somebody. A Christian is somebody who's supposed to, emulate Christ. And at least my understanding of Christ was he wasn't a guy who hated other people because of where they were born.
Well, not emulate. It's a matter of belief, right? Because
no,
Jesus
it's also about emulating Christ.
Well, I mean,
you're a Christian. You're Christ-like, is what this
that's
supposedly
the word is.
supposed.
I mean, the word. Well, I mean, yeah, but the word is in fact. That's like an exterior word. That's an English word that came up for it.
Are you saying Christians aren't supposed to emulate Christ, that they should just go out there and do whatever they want to do?
No, but I'm saying that that's not the central tenet to it, to being a Christian.
Is it not? I always thought it was.
It absolutely
it's about belief. In order to be considered,
You're
someone who
supposed to be
follows
like
into
it's supposed to be more than belief. It's
no, it
supposed
is.
to
No,
be-
that's called work salvation, Ian. Trust me, I know about this.
Well, this is one thing. Christians don't agree on everything. That's certainly for sure. And you're the only Christian in the room, Vincent.
Fair enough.
I am not anymore. I was raised that way.
And not every. I'm not trying to say I represent all Christians. I mean, I'm just saying that from what I say, a biblical point of view, I'm non-denominational. You have all these other denominations will say something similar to what you're saying or stuff. So I'm not trying to imply.
I'm so tired of these callers like Dalton, and thank you for the call.
Why are you thanking for the call?
It's
If you're
just a bad
tired?
habit. It's just a good habit or bad habit, however you want to look at it.
So it reminds me of
they should be thanking you.
Thanking the cop after you get a ticket.
Yeah,
It's like seriously, why do it? You don't have to.
Yeah, you don't owe them any thanks. Yeah, they do.
Oh,
they really
yeah.
do.
I'm talking about libertarians who do it.
And they thank the judge after they get sentenced and things like that.
It's habit. It's a bad habit to break, but it's like I bang my head every time I hear it.
I totally do too.
Oh my God.
But it's like, look, okay, maybe there are some Jewish people who want to go to war. I don't deny that at all. There are some Christian people who want to go to war. And there are some Christian people who support peace. And there are Jewish people who support peace. So to just simply paint everybody with a broad brush as though all of fill in the blank are like blank is ridiculous. It's just so thoughtless. And anybody who claims to be a Christian and hate other people like that, I'm sorry, don't buy it. Not for a moment. Let's talk to Mike in Seattle. Mike, you're on Free Talk Live, also supposedly watching on YouTube. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I think the airstrike that killed the general was a good idea.
Why?
Because, I mean, you have the Iranians starting wars and things everywhere.
Where?
They can't even. They can barely get off their own territory. Like
where? Where did they start a war in the Middle East recently?
Yeah, they support ISIS and all that.
No, they were fighting ISIS. Oh my God, you don't know anything about what's happening.
Thanks for the call. 855-450-FREE. That's the toll-free number here.
So, I mean, there was some truth behind what he was saying, whether he knew it or not. The Iranians are in doing basically the same thing the Americans are doing, which is they're doing proxy wars through third parties. So while the U.S. is using, and it's funny because the U.S. is using Iran to fight ISIS too. So it's a very
letting. I'd say letting is a more appropriate.
Let me
term
rephrase this. The U.S. is using Iran's proxy war to fight ISIS. That's the funny part.
I'd still disagree. I'd say just letting, because in this case, they're telling the Iranians and Syrians and Russians to not go into that last province of ISIS. The U.S. I mean, I remember even Trump. He said that Hillary and Obama created ISIS, which to a certain extent is true. And the U.S. because the U.S. always needs this boogeyman, or excuse me, not the U.S. The warmongers and warhawks and chicken hawks, they're all chicken hawks, all need a boogeyman there, and the boogeyman used to be Saddam, then it was the insurgency, then it was Al-Qaeda, now it's ISIS, and ISIS was on the ropes,
ISIS, according to the internet, was founded in 1999.
Well, that's the one sect that they but you never heard of it until after they said Al-Qaeda was eradicated. Now Al-Qaeda is still there.
Which was Bush, not so much Obama. I mean, they're all tied into this.
It's like what they call themselves, right? Like Al-Nusra is.
And didn't ISIS change its name like a number of times?
Probably.
Well, it has things like people call it different things. Like I believe Middle Easterners call it Daesh. It's called ISIL because it's
the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant.
Yes, Levant.
All right, so you want to comment on this, you're welcome to join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Otherwise, we can change gears a little bit here. And you had an incident, Chris, with India, since we're talking about international
sort of
goings on.
Incident is probably a weird way to phrase it, but yeah.
Well, it wasn't an assassination or anything like that, but it was an incident in your business. You run Think Penguin.
It's true.
And thinkpenguin.com is where folks can go to get some Linux-based hardware, computer solutions, and VPN service, and a variety of other products. But you ship internationally. You ship to a lot of places.
We do. We ship all over the world. Well, I mean, it's probably a little bit of an exaggeration. We ship to all of the...
Except for Iran and North Korea.
There's some exceptions in there, and even continents that we don't ship to. Not so much because we can't.
Venezuela is also prohibited now, aren't
It's very expensive in certain places like Brazil.
So you won't ship to Australia?
No, we do ship. We ship here. Actually, Australia is one of our top outlets as far as shipping to. Europe. We do a lot to Europe, and no, there's like South America is difficult to ship to, but it's not to say that we never ship to South America. It's just that
because of their tariffs and such, right?
I mean, effectively, everything's very expensive in Brazil anyway, but it's even more expensive if you try to import it yourself. It's like double the price because there's a 60% duty plus another 20% tax. So you end up paying almost double what you would.
Insane.
And even local goods are priced very, very high.
We'll talk about what happened here because something went wrong. You had an order from India.
India has a really scary new law.
Something's happening there that was shocking. We'll get into that. You can also share your thoughts. 855-450 free. And then maybe we'll go to Tokyo and talk about robot dogs. This is Free Talk Live. I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
She's such a beautiful little puppy. I mean, we walk around the block and neighbors always say, her hair is so beautiful. Healthy and shiny and glossy. DINOVITE.com.
Fatty acids, omega-3s, and omega-6s are great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
I would really recommend people starting their puppies on Dynavite before they get into what I would call the misery index. Bad skin, bad ears, bad breath.
Because if they're getting all their vitamins, micronutrients, microbials from the beginning, then you're not going to run into the problems associated with the allergies, grass, pollen, dust, dirt, fleas, ticks, you name it, and the itching and shedding down the road.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
Dynavite for life.
This is Ed Lukasevic.
And Cindy Lukasevic.
Inviting you and your pets to Dynavite.
859-428-1000. DINOVITE.com.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. You may join us here on the air, talk about whatever you want. Coming up in April 3rd through the 5th, LibertyCon, a unique liberty convention in Washington, D.C. for people that want to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations. Perhaps you want to advance your career, business, or internship opportunities. You get to meet some interesting folks and see some great speakers like John Mackey, the Whole Foods CEO and co-founder, Vernon Smith, Nobel Prize winner in economics, Miriam Issa, a pop culture expert who's got over 300 million YouTube views, as well as Nassim Nicholas Taleb, the author of The Black Swan. You can learn more at libertycon.com, get more information on the event, and use code FTL to save $10 on your registration, which, by the way, I believe today was the last day to get the early bird prices. So it may or may not be too late. If it's not too late, it's going to be real soon. Go to libertycon.com, and you can get registered there. Now, I believe our code is going to continue to work to get you a discount, but obviously if you waited past the deadline, then, well, you don't get the early bird prices. So libertycon.com. According to the website, prices go up January 4th. So if you're listening to us live tonight, you still have time to get in there. Get the $79 adult ticket price, knock $10 off by using code FTL. And student travel scholarships are available. So if you're a poor college student and you want to come to this thing, they're going to help you get there. Plus, their student tickets half the price of the normal tickets. You can snatch a student ticket up for $40, and I think our code should work for that too. If it doesn't, let us know. Code FTL over at libertycon.com, plus discounted rooms available for everyone at the Marriott Marquis. As we go and continue here, again, that's libertycon.com with code FTL. So we were talking about some international headlines. We started the show out with the Iran situation, which you're certainly still welcome to call in and share your thoughts on that. But let's talk a little bit more about trade because, Chris, you are the owner of ThinkPenguin.com. You ship computer supplies and actual computers to people all around the planet.
Computers and accessories.
And you had an order come in from India. You've shipped before to India. This is not your first rodeo.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely shipped all the time and with the same carrier and everything.
So what was different this time around?
So this time around, there was something that I was just like, what the is this? The terminology that they're using is exactly the same as the terminology that they use for effectively doing any individual in the United States, anywhere almost in the world pretty much, I think, who does business with like a bank. The bank has to do this know your customer thing.
KYC, as they call it.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So basically you have to present an ID and a driver's license and social security number. And
right. The claim is that this somehow protects against terrorism. It's ridiculous, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean,
or funding terrorism.
Yeah. Anyway, so India now has a law that requires businesses to know their customer. And it literally is
businesses in
called,
India?
Yep. Know your customer. That's exactly what it is. It is, what is Know Your Customer, from the DHL's website. So I'm
it
going
was
to read
the
it
shipper,
to you.
DHL,
The shipper, right,
who informed you about this new law.
Yes. So in order for us to ship goods to a customer in India, we're going to have to go through Know Your Customer requirements in order to ship
or they'll
goods to
reject
customer.
the package.
Yeah, effectively. It's absolutely insane. All shipments sent from or received into India need KYC documents. And what is this? Government recognized identity and address proof. Not just, an identity
proof of
information,
address,
but proof of address. Yeah. Even.
Hold on. So this is, as I understand, now look, I don't know a whole lot about India, but as I understand it, they have a caste system, and that there are a large number of the population, like in the millions, who are effectively on the outs. They're like almost stateless people, basically.
There are stateless people in India,
right.
Correct.
So these people, they don't have government ID. They could not show you a government ID if they wanted to, because they don't have it.
I don't think they're allowed certain. So I don't know.
Right.
There's like the caste system, but there's also like another group of people in India who are not recognized as being Indian citizens.
That's what I'm talking about. Those people.
Yeah, they're like even lower than the low caste.
Right.
The lowest caste people. I think.
So this seems like a law targeting those people, basically saying you can't ship to any of these nobodies anymore.
It's certainly, an authoritarian dystopia. What they're doing there. I mean, they're putting fingers on whoever they decide is undesirable.
Right, and they're cutting them off from the rest of the world, saying if you can't show a government ID, and these people can't, if you can't show that you've got power bill, like normally you got to prove your address by showing some sort of utility, at least in the U.S. I don't know how it works there.
Yeah, and I'll read that too. But must be presented to customs during shipment clearance. Let me click on a link here. It says click to view the list of valid KYC Know Your Customer documents
from an Indian person.
Because this is literally very, very disturbing what they're listing. It matches exactly what Know Your Customer is in terms of like banking. So for it to receive a package, just from overseas, $10 package, you would literally have to go through this process. So let's do the individual. What's valid for an individual resident Indian? Please provide any one of the following documents as ID and address proof. The address proof should match with the delivery address mentioned on your shipment. So an Aadhaar card, a PAN card, a voter ID, or a passport. Basically, this is like something akin to like a driver's license, these cards, I believe. And then not only do you have to prove who you are, but you also have to have proof of your address. So
a PAN card is a permanent account number, which consists of a 10-digit alphanumeric characters assigned to all taxpayers in India.
Yep.
So if you are a taxpayer, it's essentially the social security number.
Yeah.
Basically.
The other thing you have to provide is a bank account statement, an electricity bill, an employee ID.
Wow.
A hotel booking receipt, an LPG connection receipt, or a rent agreement. So it's literally the same thing that if you were to try and open a bank account in the United States.
Pretty much.
It's scary.
I don't know if you need to show proof of. Do you need to show proof of address to have a bank account in the U.S.?
If you don't, so what you do? All right. So here's what happens. I've
never been asked to show a power bill, but that may be because they're running my name through check systems and it's showing me associated with the house.
I'm trying to think what you have to provide exactly. So they will. They basically the law has been updated, and I think it's something to the effect of they have to know where you live, and if you provide an address that doesn't match, that's when it usually
then they have to kick you.
Yeah, then they'll end up kicking you out, because I've actually had that happen where I got kicked out saying, "Oh, we're not going to be able to open your account because my address was not a physical address. It was like a PO box, but it wasn't a PO box. It was a private mailbox. A private mailbox. Yeah. So they didn't initially know that it was a PO box.
Right.
So they opened the account and then they immediately contacted me like a week later saying we drove around
your account. Blah, blah, blah.
This is what they did. She actually had no problem telling me what they did exactly. They actually have somebody drive around and physically verify each of the addresses. They're not just going on Google Maps or something like that and verifying.
Did you have to go back to your customer after you learned about this and you're like, I'm sorry, we need to see your
I had sent an email to him
bill.
saying,
The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. And so basically, if you don't have, a rent agreement or a power bill or a government ID in India, you can't get products shipped to you.
Balance of nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
Back in January, February, I'd get home, make myself something to eat, blah, blah, blah. My girlfriend works nights. By 8:30, 8 o'clock, I'd be in bed. I'm sitting there thinking, okay, if this is what the rest of life is like, I'm doomed. Today is day 14 of me taking Balance of Nature, and my energy level's through the roof. It took me 5 years of hearing it on talk radio to actually try it. The difference is night and day.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we will take an additional 35% off of your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
My fellow sheep, election season is upon us. Are you one of the 12% of Americans who still approves of our government? Then we need your help to force the other 88% into compliance. Our democracy depends on it. We're an organization called Citizens Against Too Much Unfettered Freedom, or CATMUF. CATMUF is a bipartisan flock of sheep whose goal is expanding government until nothing else remains. Because the government is here to help you. How can you help CATMUF help you? By only voting for candidates dedicated to expanding government. It's easy. You don't need to study the issues. No matter what a politician says when running for office, they're all dedicated to expanding government. And make sure you tell all your friends and family to vote for more government. Here at CATMUF, we don't care if you vote Democrat or Republican, as long as you vote for candidates committed to growing our federal family. CATMUF. Because folks just aren't smart enough to handle real freedom.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
The Shire Free Church offers a sanctuary to those seeking an escape from state churches.
The Shire Free Church is an interfaith, diverse group of people that may not share identical theological beliefs. As a member in or minister of the Shire Free Church, you are a sovereign individual and may be the faith of your choice.
We don't claim to have all of the answers.
We are open to all peaceful people.
We want to learn from each other.
What unifies the Shire Free Church and its diverse members is peace,
love, and liberty. There are many paths to God, one for every individual.
The Shire Free Church does not define a specific path beyond those parameters that must be your foundation.
Peace as your way,
love as your guide,
and liberty as your light.
Learn more at church.shiresociety.com.
That's church.shiresociety.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial toll free and bring up whatever you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. In the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Chris.
And Vincent.
So you can bring up whatever you want. Also want to make sure that you know about the Edge wallet, because if you are looking to get into cryptocurrency, you got to have a wallet to store and also to be able to send and buy and sell and trade and securely hold cryptocurrencies. Edge Wallet is available for iOS and for Android devices. It is user-controlled. You own your own money, which is it's a great product. I just used it today, actually, to pay for my meal. Out before we came here, we were at the Thirsty Owl in downtown Keene. They take crypto, which is pretty cool. You can go to edge.app to learn more about Edge Wallet, and they can help you secure your freedom. They support Bitcoin, BTC, Ethereum, various tokens, Monero, Ripple, Stellar, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and others. Go on over to edge.app or just go to your Google or Apple App Store and download Edge Wallet. As we continue here, since we're talking about we've been doing international kind of news here all night. Here's a headline from the cryptocurrency world from theblockcrypto.com's Yogita Khatri, writing that several local authorities in China's capital city, Beijing, have jointly issued a new risk warning on cryptocurrency trading activities. The Beijing Local Financial Supervision and Administration Bureau, the Business Management Department of the People's Bank of China, the Beijing Banking and Insurance Regulatory Bureau, and the Beijing Securities Regulatory Bureau, that's a mouthful, have all asked firms not to engage in crypto business. This according to a notice issued on Friday. The authorities said with the recent promotion of blockchain technology in China, cryptocurrency trading activities have shown signs of resurgence. Some platforms have, quote, seriously violated, unquote, rules, banning initial coin offerings, added the authorities. Accordingly, they've ordered all firms to not promote cryptocurrency projects or platforms, not engage in crypto trading business, and not provide any services related to cryptocurrencies. So this sounds like a total crackdown on all cryptocurrency-related business. They've also urged investors to remain rational to avoid being deceived, as well as to report any violations of laws and regulations. Last year, Beijing's Municipal Bureau of Finance also said that fundraising activities via security token offerings are illegal. Chinese authorities have taken stringent measures since 2017, banning ICOs outright and forcing crypto exchanges to cease operations.
You know, the problem with, having these sorts of nanny state laws is that people have this impression that they're protected from stuff when in reality they're not. And so when they come across a scam, they don't know it's a scam.
It must not be a scam because the government's protecting me from scams, right?
And so, they don't learn about scams, they don't understand scams, and then they get taken advantage by the scam when they come about because, well, the government protects you.
Yeah, so pretty scary news for anybody who's into cryptocurrency in China. I mean, they're just saying you can't engage in crypto business. I mean, that could be interpreted to mean you can't even sell anybody something for cryptocurrency. Like,
yeah,
I bought my dinner tonight with cryptocurrency. I paid with Dash for my meal. And is that now prohibited in China? Because that's the way this particular, at least this, English press story about the Chinese press release reads, right? So I have not read the actual Chinese press release, but anyway you slice it, it's not good for cryptocurrency in China.
It's so hard to interpret these, especially the English language stories, because there's multiple layers of, okay, the original reporter who didn't understand what it is they were getting,
right, that
then writes about it, and then that gets translated by somebody else who doesn't fully understand English, and then it's this sloppy, it's multiple layers of sloppy reporting, and people just don't know what's going on. It's so hard to tell, what is real, what is correct, what is not correct. Even when you don't have, a translation.
This must be something you've noticed, Vincent, as, you're in the journalism business. You're actually going to school for this. People mistranslating and just misconstruing government reports.
Putting something through like Google Translate instead of getting someone who actually knows the language.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the biggest thing.
Exactly.
Problem.
So bad news if you care about cryptocurrency in China. And, this is one of the frustrating potential futures for crypto, right? Like where governments of the world, not just China, but let's say the U.S. does the same thing. Let's say that they issue a decree that any cryptocurrency business, which there's a huge world of business within cryptocurrency. It's not all about just wallets and sending and receiving. There's all kinds of things going on with blockchain technologies that has nothing to do with money necessarily, but just putting a blanket ban on anything crypto related, telling all U.S. And over in China, as I understand it, the government basically has a hand in all the companies there. But in in the United States, telling all private businesses no more crypto, anything. Now, maybe they wouldn't be able to get away with it. Maybe that would be some sort of constitutional violation, and perhaps they would be subject to a legitimate challenge in court over this. Because I think there's a strong argument in the United States that cryptocurrency is freedom of speech. What do you think about that?
I think unfortunately, while I think it's potentially a correct argument, I don't necessarily think that the law and the courts are going to
see it that way.
I mean, the problem is that they don't necessarily follow logic. They're not necessarily rational. They're not necessarily reasonable. At any level of government, right? I mean, it's what actually happens, and we get and this is the thing, we get conflicting rulings all the time, right? So it's kind of, you got to just you're going to end up throwing up your hands and hoping that your rights get preserved. I mean, because every one of us is just a little individual and doesn't really have much power of any real sort.
An example I could think of is like take alcohol prohibition, right? In order to ban the sale ban the sale of alcohol, they had to have an amendment to the Constitution. Yeah, but now
they didn't for drugs.
Well, exactly. Yeah, for plants, for just readily available pharmaceutical drugs, like eventually like Quaaludes, when they figured people could abuse them.
Right.
They just said, you know what, we're going to make up this arbitrary list, and so I think also a lot of that's done through like international treaty, because the UN has like an anti-drug treaty that like majority of the countries in the world sign up. That's why like when another country like Canada decides to legalize cannabis, they people at the UN freak out. But I mean, I think the answer is that they could at this point they could just do whatever they want.
Yeah, I mean, I think what the reason that they passed a constitutional amendment effectively for alcohol and they didn't do it for other drugs is because at the end of the day, it was it's one of these things that is like the Constitution is clear, right? But the easiest way around the Constitution is to just reinterpret.
Sure.
It's not to try and change the Constitution. Let's just reinterpret it.
Right. It doesn't mean what it says. It means this.
Right.
And then if the men with the robes on at the Supreme Court agree with you,
if you can get them to go along with it,
then that's that.
Yep. And they've changed. This is what precedent does. It changes effectively what things mean.
And they've changed their opinion.
And they changed it. And they got the precedent.
The Supreme Court has changed their opinion on things.
Or do they do it even more subversively? They have some sort of crisis and they say, oh, well, this is like the income tax, right? Oh, this is only going to be temporary. And then eventually crisis is over. People forget. But they never get rid of it.
Yeah. There's other great examples. I mean, look at sales tax. We didn't used to have to collect sales tax for states that didn't have, for
businesses.
If you didn't operate in a state, you didn't have to collect, as a business, you didn't have to collect the sales tax.
Right.
Well, that was a Supreme Court ruling. Well, the Supreme Court overturned its own ruling. I mean, 15, 20 years later. Yeah.
Toll-free number tonight, if you want to join us here, 855-450-FREE. The end of a toll. That's what we got on the way here. Some good news. We've been giving you some bad news all night here tonight. We're going to give you a little bit of good news. 855-450-FREE. Something you almost never hear about happening.
I've never heard of a toll going away.
Yeah. So we'll get into it, and you can share your thoughts about whatever's on your mind. Plus, Illinois cannabis legalization, major success so far.
The Hebo Tea Club's original pure Pau d'Arco Super Tea comes from the only tree in the world that fungus does not grow on, so it naturally has antifungal, antiviral, antibacterial, anti-infection, anti-inflammation, and anti-parasite properties. But maybe more importantly, the Hebo Tea Club's original pure Pau d'Arco Super Tea builds corpuscles in the blood, which carry oxygen to our organs and cells. Our organs and cells need oxygen to regenerate themselves. The immune system needs oxygen to develop, and cancer happens to die in oxygen. The tea is great for healthy people and can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. Tahibo Tea Club's original Pure Pau de Arco Super Tea is only $34.95 plus shipping. Order now at shopsupertea.com or call 818-984-6100. That's shopsupertea.com or call 818-984-6100. Shopsupertea.com.
Would you like to get back that full head of hair from years past? Introducing Reveal from GCNLife.com. Beverly Hills dermatologist Dr. Nathan Newman invented Reveal, which contains polypeptides with natural botanicals and no parabens, sulfates, silicones, or dyes for a salon-quality hair growth product. Reveal. Here's Dr. Newman.
I've treated a lot of patients who lose their hair and they lose their confidence. We've created a unique set of polypeptides, which we call HPT6. The HPT6 contains the polypeptides from 6 different plants. The scalp infusion treatment should be used on wet or dry scalp. The Reveal hair care system is designed to be used for men and women alike.
Get Reveal at GCNLife.com with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So try Reveal today at GCNLife.com or 844-443-6637. Plus a discount up to 25% off for Reveal at GCNLife.com or 844-443-6637.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial in toll free to bring up what you want. Our number, 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we've got the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. Joining you in the studio tonight, Ian.
And Chris.
And Vincent.
Coming up, we can talk about robot dogs. I'm not talking about like the militaristic police dog things. That's also been in the news where, you know, these killer dogs basically are being manufactured by companies to be used by SWAT teams and such. We're talking about the cutesy little dogs, the little toy little robot-looking things that apparently are really taking off over in Japan. But first, a little bit of good news out of New Hampshire. According to WCVB, which is, I believe, a TV station in Vermont, Merrimack, New Hampshire, tolls are about to become history at an exit on one of New Hampshire's heavily traveled highways. there will be no more toll collecting at the Exit 11 northbound and southbound ramps of the Everett Turnpike in Merrimack as of New Year's Day. So it's already over. The highway links Massachusetts and the New Hampshire cities of Manchester and Concord. Drivers have been paying 50 cents on the on and off ramps at the exits. The tolls bring in more than $1 million every year. But a transportation commission actually decided that it puts Merrimack residents under an unfair burden. The toll booths were built 30 years ago, will remain, but drivers will be allowed to drive through without paying.
That's interesting. I wonder why they wouldn't remove them. I would think if it's congested, you would want to remove them because it would
give a little extra room, add a lane or two or something like that.
It seems like it would.
I'm going to guess it has to do with New Hampshire being pretty spendthrift.
And not wanting to spend the money in order to get rid of the physical toll. Yeah.
Would be my
At least not yet until maybe they redo the roads or something like that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I imagine the sight of a toll, even if it's closed, would convince people to slow down, even just by out of instinct.
Probably,
but isn't that that's not something you'd want on a highway?
Well, this is an off-ramp.
Oh,
so they would want it.
Okay, so with an off ramp, that probably wouldn't be a problem then.
This is either off and on. Yeah, on and off ramps. So people coming on and off.
So they'll probably just throw up a sign saying no toll.
Yeah, there's nobody there.
Yeah,
there's just no bureaucrats sitting in the booth.
Yeah,
or whatever. So that's good news. And as you said,
great
Chris,
news.
you've never heard.
I've
of a toll
never
booth.
heard of a toll booth going away. I've heard of going cashless tolling where they still charge you, but they don't actually have a physical toll booth there. But I've never heard of a toll booth actually being like removed or like not being forced collection.
Right.
Oh, I will say I may have gone through a toll that they didn't collect anything, but I think it was just a holiday thing for some real weird reason in New York this past week. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they were still going to be collecting tolls.
Well, I think this is great news, and it's yet another example of why New Hampshire is really kind of a special place. I mean, there's stuff that happens here, and yeah, there's still a state government, and there's still a gang, and there's still hurting peaceful people, and there are still tolls.
It's still a terrible place, but it's a little less terrible, right?
Well, I mean, it's a nice place. I like living in New Hampshire.
Well, certainly, the geography and the people
are
and
great.
everything, they're great, but the government, right?
The government is terrible.
It's still terrible.
Yeah, all governments
just a little
are terrible.
less terrible.
Right, all governments are terrible. I mean, that's just, the way they are. But to actually have a government gang get rid of a toll booth is a pretty unprecedented thing to have happen.
I am still amazed at how people can be so negative about New Hampshire, libertarians in particular, about how they act as if nothing happens here, nothing good ever happens. It's always bad. It's always just statist, more like it's no better than anywhere else. And
yeah, the mythology is that Massachusetts has been invading New Hampshire. The massholes, as they're called, have been invading New Hampshire and have been making the state, bringing it down.
Well, from both parties too. You'd have you'd have the liberals coming up to avoid all the high taxes and everything, and they would come up and live in New Hampshire and then bring about the policies that ruined their original state. But then you'd have all the disgruntled Republicans who just can't handle it anymore. That's why southern New Hampshire is the counties and towns bordering Massachusetts are some of the biggest Republican strongholds in the state.
Are they?
Oh yeah.
Well,
so we're sort of balancing each other out. But either way, we're trashing it up a place. These people from Massachusetts, regardless of party.
I think it's more along the lines, and I think people's impressions are wrong. I think it's more along the lines of we have Democrats and we have Republicans, and they just kind of go back and forth fighting each other. And
I think that's
a
good
big
thing.
part of what keeps the government down in New Hampshire.
To me, that's an attraction.
Right.
I mean, I like that New Hampshire is a purple state. It's not really red. It's not really blue. They're constantly struggling over control.
Right. And it seems like the people here don't really like either party.
No, they don't. If you look at voter registration rolls, you'll see that the plurality of voters are actually registered as what they call undeclared in New Hampshire. It's not a majority Republican or Democrat state. It's actually plurality is undeclared. There are more undeclared voters than there are registered Republicans, and there are more undeclared voters than there are registered Democrats.
Exactly what I'm talking about.
And that's special. That's really cool.
It's very unique. It's very
It means you can't win an election unless you talk to the undeclared voters. You have to persuade them to come on your side if you want to win an election in New Hampshire. You can't just go and advertise to your base and win.
Right.
You can't do it. But you're right. People don't understand. They don't understand what's going on here. The libertarians don't realize all of the wonderful success stories that we've had. Because they're disconnected from it. They don't know. How would they find out? It's not like the activists advertise what they do.
The people who know are like, they write off the fact we have 20 representatives, or that
at least
decently represent us in in the House, and they write off the little
even though they have zero, have zero representatives.
And the everywhere else they have zero representatives. And the crazy thing is, even where it's a somewhat trivial number, it's still greater than anywhere else. And
you mean as far as numbers of what, activists or something? Or
no, trivial in the sense of it's not a lot of representation. It's a little bit of representation.
Well, yeah, I mean,
but
it is
it's
out of
something,
400, right? So
and that's what I mean by trivial.
Yeah, okay,
right?
I see what you're saying. But just to be clear, 20 is more than enough to break a tie. 20 is also more than enough to swing a vote one way or another, a relatively close vote.
Right.
And also a lot of the and you're just counting the most principled people. You're counting 20 of like A+ kind of
absolutely
liberty rated, and we do actually have liberty ratings here for the state representatives and the senators. It's done by a great group called the New Hampshire Liberty Alliance, and they do it every year. But you've still got A-rated and A- and B-rated reps who are relatively decent. They're not going to be right on all the issues, but most of the time they can be counted on to do the right thing.
I wouldn't count on anybody, even the most diehard libertarian, to be right on all the issues. To be honest,
right?
You're going to make mistakes sometimes.
But there's a lot of them who are right more often than they're not.
Right,
and that means that as that 20 starts to grow even more, and we get an even more solid base. That means the Republicans and Democrats, if they want a thing to pass, they're going to have to negotiate with the Libertarians. They're going to have to, try to persuade them to come on board with whatever they want to have happen. And that's when you can say, well, yeah, we'll support this bill as long as you strip this thing out, or as long as you add this, this other thing over here. So there's, it's ugly, right? The political process is an ugly thing. But, I say God has blessed those people who are willing to go up there and be state representatives. It is a thankless job. They get paid $100 a year, which is also a real perk. That's one of the reasons why New Hampshire is great, because they don't pay these people a lot of money. And that's true of the senators here as well. But I think part of the reason that there's such confusion about what's happening here is because one of the big failures of the migration to New Hampshire has been self-promotion. There's a very, very poor level of self-promotion that goes on here. There's not a lot of people who promote the things that they're doing.
Yeah, I think another aspect of it is people had this. I don't know why people have this impression that they could change things overnight, but that seems like the other impression that people have had, and it's like
that's why a lot of people have left.
That's not going to happen. You have to actually work at it, and not only that, but in some degree, I think we focused too much on changing New Hampshire for the better without enough people, when we should be focusing more on getting more people to move here, right? And the reality is it's not.
But that's the thing. You've got to have
within
successes.
our lifetime, right? Not in the next 10 years, right? Like,
sure.
And realistically, even when people critique, well, we're supposed to have 20,000 after 5 years. Well, no, that was our goal, right? That was the
objective. You're talking about 20,000 movers,
right.
20,000
That wasn't
people
necessarily, and I don't even know we've hit 5 years yet, but
just to be clear, you're talking about the migration of New Hampshire,
right.
of libertarians to move to New Hampshire, called in many cases the Free State Project, but the migration's larger than that. But the Free State Project,
the Free State Project had a goal
set
of 20,000.
A goal of 20,000. They hit that goal. It took them 15 years longer than they should have. And we could get into reasons why that was the case, but they finally hit that goal, and we now actually are about a year away. Next month, February of 2021, is going to be the 5-year window that those 20,000 people had to move here. And I don't think even 2,000 more have come since they.
I doubt
it.
I don't think you can end just because you get to that number, and especially considering the amount of time, you got to keep working at it, right? This is something that's going to take a long time to really achieve.
The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. But was New Hampshire a mistake? Maybe the Mariana Islands were the right place to go. Our co-host Mark Edge is going to pick up his life and move there in less than 2 weeks, so we're going to learn more about that as well. More coming up here. This is Free Talk Live.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app, and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting libertycon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's libertycon.com. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,521, silver at $17.89, and Bitcoin is trading around $7,139. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, a number of Russian soldiers were badly beaten and airlifted to a hospital after a fistfight with American troops in Syria last week. According to the UK-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, the incident occurred on December 25th in the city of Tal Tamar in northeast Syria. When U.S. troops arrived to collect information from local residents, the latter reportedly reacted negatively and accused the Americans of betraying them with the withdrawal of U.S. forces from the area. Russian soldiers in the area then confronted the Americans, at which point they argued. That led to a fistfight between the soldiers. No weapons were used, and no major casualties were reported at first. It was then revealed that 3 of the Russian soldiers were beaten so severely that they required urgent medical attention. According to Russian media outlet The Military Review, the Israeli media also drew attention to the incident, although the Russian Defense Ministry has officially denied that it even took place. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Thousands of Iraqi protesters attacked various parts of the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad on Tuesday, after U.S. airstrikes killed dozens of Iran-backed Iraqi militia over the weekend. The attack on the embassy has been widely documented on Twitter, with videos and pictures showing the destruction. The Mind Unleashed reports that one freelance journalist recorded the moment when the angry mob chanted, quote, "No, no to America, no, no to Israel," end quote, outside of the embassy in Baghdad's Green Zone. The Times of Israel's Mina Bai tweeted a video of what appears to be part of the embassy on fire. More videos show protesters burning the outer walls of the embassy. The U.S. airstrike on Sunday on Hezbollah bases in Iraq and Syria was in response to attacks on U.S. troops in the region. ABC News said there had been no reports of any embassy staff hurt in the current rampage. All security forces have been withdrawn to the inner areas of the embassy. One day after Colorado and western Nebraska counties reported a series of mysterious nocturnal drone flights, the Federal Aviation Administration is promoting a rule change that requires most drones to be identifiable remotely, a report said Monday. The rule change, announced Thursday, has been in the works for more than a year. That's according to FAA spokesman Ian McGregor in an email to the Denver Post. Under the legislation, law enforcement, federal security agencies, and the FAA would be allowed to identify drones flying through their jurisdiction. Activist Post reports a squadron of drones has been flying above a total of 5 Midwestern states every night for more than 2 weeks, leaving both residents and officials wondering who's flying them and what purpose they are serving. Sheriffs in Lincoln, Washington, and Sedgwick counties in Colorado and Nebraska say their offices have been inundated with calls about the devices. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Our very own Tracy met farmer Ray Kimball, who says that his horse, Franklin, has the ability to speak full sentences.
When did you first realize he could talk?
Well, I'd hear him saying things when I was sleeping, and then I'd go out to the barn and we'd have some real conversations.
Can we talk to Franklin?
He can't wait to meet you. Say hi, Franklin. What's that? That's a good one.
What did he say?
He said, "Who's the pretty lady?"
Aw. Franklin, do you like living on the farm?
Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Did he say something?
Tracy, you live here now.
I spent a cozy night at Ray's farmhouse in a room he called the altar. I learned that the farmer has a whole lot more on his mind than just a talking horse.
You are my beloved.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever you want here. The toll-free number, 855-450, free like freedom. Yeah, they're actually ending tolls in New Hampshire. Not all of them, unfortunately, but a couple of toll booths at one busy exit. Yeah, one busy exit in Merrimack, New Hampshire. They're just ending it. They're just going to stop staffing the booth. You'll be able to just drive on through. They're not going to tear it down, but there's going to be no toll collecting.
Why
there.
waste the money?
Yeah, I imagine that's where they're coming from on it. You can share your thoughts if you want. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. So you can bring up whatever you want as well. And that actually led into a conversation about, some of the things that make New Hampshire different and special. And Chris, you and I, we made the decision to move here. Vincent, you grew up here mostly. You were born in Quebec province.
No,
but,
I was born in Pennsylvania.
Oh, Pennsylvania. I'm sorry. But you've sort of hail from Quebec in some way.
Well, I was raised by my French mother, in isolation, so it might as well have been. and when the Pennsylvanian woods, French is the first language.
Gotcha. Well, and then you spent a lot of your years in New Hampshire after that.
Yes.
But you had the benefit of being here as a young person, whereas we came in while we were adults. And we chose to migrate here as part of this, let's call it the New Hampshire Freedom Migration, this overarching movement of people that have come here, and of course, this is something we can just talk about because we have some strong opinions about this migration. And you were sort of bellyaching about libertarians in general, how they either aren't even aware of what's happening or they don't even understand what's happening.
I would say some. I don't want to. I don't want to say all libertarians are bickering about this. I think there's a handful of them.
I think a lot of them don't even know. I think there's a wide number of people who have no idea.
It seems like there's more people here that don't even know anything about what's going on, than we even realize. You mean people who've
migrated here?
I mean, I'm just talking about Keene alone. Like, there's dozens of people.
You mean the normal folks that live in Keene, the natives?
No, I'm talking about libertarians who've moved as part of the migration movement, and we don't even know them. Like,
right? Okay.
I mean, there's just so many of them. Like, there was a dozen names that Johnson, another co-host on the show, was listing off to me, and I didn't know a single one of these people.
And these are people who live in this area.
People who live in this area, and I'm like, who are these people? I've never met a single one of those.
They don't come out. They don't socialize.
Yeah,
kind of
like it's just I'm amazed that there's these people, a lot of people in this little town of 20,000 ish people, and I didn't even know they moved here for the migration movement.
So we were talking about some of the things that makes New Hampshire special. There's actually a really great documentary about that called 101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire. You can go to 101reasonsfilm.com. It was made 5 years ago, so I don't know how dated it is at this point, but it was still pretty darn good the last time I took a look at it. Highly recommend you check that out because there really is a great migration here, and I'm so glad I moved because I've met so many great people. And
the thing that really did it for me was Derek Chase Victimless Crime Spree. I know it's not necessarily the same.
That's a special
movie.
And that it's going to attract a certain type of person. That's
absolutely.
One of the reasons we made it.
I think it's going to attract the kind of people we need more of.
I agree with you.
To be honest,
that's one of the reasons we made that movie.
Yeah.
But if you're just looking for some overarching reasons why New Hampshire is a pretty great place to be, if you care about freedom, 101 Reasons is a great overview. But that led to a discussion about what our co-host Mark Edge is going to be doing coming up in a week and a day or so, basically. On next Sunday, he's going to be leaving to the Mariana Islands. Now, I don't know how much he's talked about this on the air yet, but I don't think it's a secret, and it certainly isn't now. But the Mariana Islands are like way, way, way out there. And we're talking almost to like the Philippines, basically. Almost to Japan. Almost.
Yeah, I mean, if you're concerned about China, you probably don't want to move there.
Well, as far as like, could China attack that place? Is that what you mean?
I mean, look, it's the first place that's going to be invaded. If China gets out of its cocoon, the area in which it inhabits, I guess is the best way to phrase it.
Yeah, if we're claiming like that they own the South China Sea, pretty, from my understanding of
it. If they move outside of the South China Sea, they're basically taking over the Mariana Islands first.
Well, is Guam closer?
It's right next door to Mariana.
Right next door. Okay, so because Guam has, I'm not unsure about Mariana. I know Guam has a lot of military assets.
It does.
It does, and that's probably the one thing sort of protecting it, but also making it a target.
So, right. Mariana also has military.
No, not much.
Oh no. Okay, so you're talking Guam.
I don't think it has any really.
They tested some nuclear weapons, I think, or launched them from. I think they launched them from Tinian, which is one of the islands in the Marianas.
Okay.
But there's actually been some pushback by the natives that they don't want the military to be there. So like there's some anti-war kind of pushback from what I hear. But Christian Anarchist in our Discord chat says, my brother lived there for a year, talking about the Mariana Islands. And he says, or for a year and a half, he hated it. He lived on Saipan. We visited them there for a week. Looks like paradise, but it's not. And I think that's probably true when you deal with any kind of island place. Or any place that appears to be paradise, right?
Yeah.
There's always going to be the tourist side of town.
Yep.
And, whether you're talking about Cancun or whether you're talking about whatever place in the world we're talking about, or Acapulco, and then there's going to be the real Saipan, right? There's going to be the real Acapulco, and no place is paradise. That doesn't exist. The reality is there's a government gang every place you go on the planet, and they are going to behave in this relatively similar fashion.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of interesting because I think there's two different perspectives one can have depending on whether you're an optimist or a narcissist, I guess.
No, it's a pessimist.
Pessimist.
Gee,
yeah.
Optimist or a narcissist.
But like, I feel like Keene would be a terrible place to live.
Keene, New Hampshire.
If you were, if it wasn't for, okay, so in some respects it is, but if it wasn't for the fact that we actually have a community here, right? Like, so I don't.
Keene would actually still be better than a lot of places because when you talk about Keene being bad, Vincent, you're only comparing it to the rest of New Hampshire. It's way better than like pretty much most cities in the United States. Like there's virtually no crime. There's very little as far as they have regulations in Keene. There's zoning and crap like that, but it's nowhere near as bad as like Florida, where I'm from. They literally have zoning thugs in Sarasota, Florida, where I'm from, that drive around in trucks all day long and they scope your property out for violations.
Personally, I don't think you can put Florida on the list. Period. Like, I mean, that's just not a fair comparison.
But
right?
zoning,
I mean, that's so bad. Like, it doesn't. You can't even include it when you go to rate states.
But Florida's supposedly the #1 most free state, according to
the most corrupt state in the nation.
Well, that's supposedly either Rhode Island or Hawaii or something like that. But
yeah, I don't know if I believe that one.
You're talking about city. For me, like it's talking about cities, and I'm talking about like many things, like the quality of people. But I mean, comparing cities, it's like saying where would you rather eat? What body part would you rather eat out from? The armpit or the other place? You
don't like cities, period.
No, not at all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Keene barely qualifies as a city. It's called a city, but anyway, let's get back into this question of Mariana, because you had some things, some concerns or whatever, critiques of the idea of libertarians migrating to this relatively small island chain in the Pacific.
I love the idea, like conceptually, of moving to an island to be amongst other people, because we could actually potentially have control, potentially eventually
smaller population.
Right, it would be easier to declare independence and do all sorts of things, and nobody would care, right? Like,
the people who live there would care,
or they'd bomb you to death, or the people who live there would string you up from a cross or something like that.
It's possible, but the point is, you have a greater potential in some respects if you could pull it off.
Sure.
The problem, I think, is effective. There's probably numerous problems, but what looks like as he said, the reasons he probably disliked it, I think we could probably fix a lot of those reasons, but
it might have been just too hot or mosquitoes or whatever. He didn't say why he didn't say why he hated it.
But I suspect it's people, right? Like a lot of the quality of life issues have to do with people, and not necessarily.
Well, and supposedly the islanders are lazy.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't know if that really. I don't know how that would impact your quality of life. If
the islanders are lazy, that means that stuff doesn't get done when it should get done. If you want to hire a construction crew or something like that, maybe you're just gonna have to wait.
But they have outsiders come in to do that kind of work.
Well, that's a good point, because the Marianas has no limit apparently to the work visas that they can have, unlike the United States.
And apparently, it does have a large.
A lot
immigrant population of some kind.
It's actually majority immigrant, as I understand.
Okay.
More coming up here from China and Japan and the Philippines. 855-450 free. You can join us on Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help. Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite. Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free. New improved Lico Chops with omega-6, omega-3, vitamin E, and now 6 extra direct-fed microbials. Even better for the digestive tract and immune system. And dogs love it. Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free. This is Henry Lukasevic for Dynavite.
DINOVITE.com.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app.
Balance of Nature, changing the world one life at a time.
I started taking them about 7.5 years ago. It was right after I lost my husband. My husband passed away. I was grieving so bad I wasn't eating at all. I mean, I just didn't care. And so I heard the advertisements on the radio, and I thought, well, my family's upset about me. I got to get myself straight, and I started taking them. So I always say they kind of saved my life, They gave me back my life. I would say that.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we will take an additional 35% off of your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project early movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you get the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. anypayinc.com.
Live video of our key New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. If you want to join us on the air, 855-450-3733. We're talking about libertarian migrations, most of which are not even worth talking about because they just were in the idea phase, and it's like some guy who's a libertarian who's like, oh, I like the idea of libertarians moving to where I live. Come on, move over here. Free Detroit. Or free, what's the other one? Blue Ridge Liberty. There's like all these wannabes out there. And, of course, the Free State Project was the only one so far that has really been a success, meaning that there have actually been a significant number of people, a couple thousand at least, that have moved, and most of them, I think, have stayed here in New Hampshire. And, Chris, you and I are two of those people. But, by the way, before we go on with the conversation, because we also brought up Mariana Islands in there, there's this new movement of crypto people, which I presume will be mostly libertarian, migrating out there.
It's like one person so far.
It's two. One so far.
Two with Mark, maybe.
There's going to be two in the next week. DiviProject.org, though. The next generation wallet is coming from Divi. In just a few taps, you'll be able to spend, earn, store, and exchange digital money in seconds. Divi says you'll be able to send money around the globe in only a swipe and exchange instantly between Divi, Bitcoin, and fiat currencies like the dollar in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. There's no need to wait, though, as Divi already offers the first one-tap solution for entering earning passive income with their multi-tiered masternodes, allowing anyone to earn by supporting the Divi network. When the new Divi wallet launches because of Divi's partnership with Western Union or relationship with them, Divi will be in 200 countries, including the United States. You can learn more at DiviProject.org. That's DiviProject.org. As we continue here, Lumpy in our Discord chat says, so Mark gave up on freedom. Well, I don't know about that.
I did that a long time ago.
There's a strong argument for that.
But I think it's a little bit of an extreme statement to say that so far. We still need clarification from Mark exactly with what his plans are, and nothing says he's going to stay.
Well, one thing's for sure about Mark is he's not sure about anything.
Right.
He's wanted to move to the Roatan project thing. He's wanted to move to some former Russian state at one point. He's like all over the place.
South Ossetia, I remember.
With what he's wanted to do. But when he heard the pitch from the Crypto Frontier folks at cryptofrontier.org, he was instantly like persuaded. And I have to say, I'm interested in it. Like, I would like to see how this goes, and I'm definitely, open-minded. In fact, Crypto Frontier is on the line with us here. Alexander is with us.
Hey, happy to be here.
Hey, welcome. You're calling from, where are you today?
I'm in Saipan in the northern Mariana Islands.
And
so you're actually there, or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
awesome.
You moved with tomorrow's 2 weeks that you've been there?
Yeah, I moved on the 22nd.
And so
December.
2 weeks in, I mean, maybe just do kind of a recap. How's it been going for you?
Oh, it's been something else. I came from the cold East Coast into a nice warm climate. I've met a lot of interesting people. There's a lot of retired military guys who I think would be sympathetic both to crypto and libertarian message for those who are into that kind of thing. I got some interest from some businesses as well. And overall, it's just been a very fun, heartening experience.
When you say interest from businesses, you mean like in cryptocurrency?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I already have one business. They take crypto. They got their BitPay set up. And I'm working with another two to set up cryptocurrency payments in the next month or so.
That's really
might
cool.
be on my this might be on my travel destination if they're taking crypto here for
Gives
a
you a
vacation.
reason to go out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. And that's kind of the whole point.
And the Q1, there should be 3 businesses, which is perhaps starting from zero, right? If you check out CoinMaps now or AnyPay, there's nothing. So our growth rate is spectacular, and we expect it to remain that way for at least the first couple of years.
Now, did you say you're using BitPay or AnyPay?
This person in particular is using BitPay because it integrates into his payment system and his inventory management.
Right.
So I try to tell him, AnyPay is great, you should use that, but you said, I'm willing to try, but I have to integrate with my system for
hey, whatever works, as long as somebody's taking crypto.
I wouldn't be too freaked out about what particular
I think BitPay
POS
supports
you're using.
Bitcoin Cash, so I mean it
does. It supports
useful.
Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin. So
and I've heard they're going to start doing
Ethereum as well.
Yeah, and I've heard they're going to start taking certain stable coins on the BitPay platform as well.
Okay,
in 2020.
Not really terribly interested in
that
that,
doesn't
but okay.
excite me that much.
Yeah,
but yeah it's interesting. So this is kind of more of like a crypto project, but somebody's on the line here, or not on the line, but in our chat room, Gene the Christian Anarchist said he had a family member of his who lived out there, and he said he hated it. Now he didn't explain why.
Yeah, I suspect it's because the people, not that the people are bad that are there, but the like-minded individuals is, I think, the best way to phrase it.
Well, I don't know what Gene's brothers or whatever.
No, and I'm just jumping to that.
Yeah, I mean, he might not like the bugs. I mean, it is a tropical climate, right? Like, I mean, there's probably mosquitoes on the island.
So, can you tell us what the temperature was today?
The temperature pretty much every day is low 80s. In the afternoon,
it's warm.
It cools down.
Okay, so it's pretty warm
76 to 83 every day.
All year long, right?
That's kind of miserable weather. But
it depends on what your opinion is. It depends on your opinion.
That's true. What's the humidity like? Because that matters more than the temperature.
Well, it's an island.
The humidity varies. There's a rainy season and a drier season. So right now we're in more of the drier season, so it's not too bad. But during the rainy season, it can get a little humid.
Now, it's the middle of the day right now, right? Like it's what time is it where you are?
It's 12:30.
So it's basically high noon. It's lunchtime in
Saipan. I was just
Saipan.
eating my lunch, tuning into Free Talk Live, and heard some Mariana talk, so I thought I could chime in.
So is there air conditioning? Is that like a thing, or is it too expensive? Electricity's too expensive, therefore no air conditioning?
Yes, there's air conditioning in pretty much everywhere you could possibly go inside. We'll have it. We're not quite Dubai level where we air condition the outside, but give us about 20 years, and I think we can get there.
Are you worried? Are you concerned about like long-term habitability because of climate change? Saying that islands and coastal regions are going to be flooding within the next 12 years.
It's a mountainous area, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think you have to worry about that.
It shouldn't be a concern for Saipan in particular. I haven't been to there's 14 islands. So some of them might go under, but there'll definitely be a lot of land mass available to live on. So I'm not too concerned.
The thing you have to worry about is the volcano exploding.
That's a good point.
Wait, there's a volcano?
It is a volcano.
Yeah, all islands come from volcanoes, so generally there's going to be some nearby.
They had to
Saipan
evacuate.
itself doesn't have.
Wait, but Saipan?
Is it part of a ring of fire?
Hold on, is Saipan itself an actual volcano?
No, Saipan is not a volcano, but some of the northern islands have volcanoes on them.
They're right
Like,
next
they
to a volcano.
evacuated-
They had to evacuate in the 80s.
Not Saipan, though, right?
Yeah, Saipan.
Not Saipan.
Not
No,
he's saying not
different
Saipan.
one.
Oh, Saipan.
Northern
If another island is a volcano,
Okay.
the magma isn't going to like flow through the ocean
I thought
to take
Saipan,
over your another island.
Okay. All right. So what I read was something to the effect that the Mariana Islands had to be evacuated. So maybe I misunderstood or something like
Maybe
that.
some of the islands did.
Yeah. Okay. So I must have
Yeah, so
misunderstood according to what you're saying.
In the past, the northern islands were populated by a couple hundred people, and now maybe the active population is about 10. And the mayor's office to the northern islands is actually on Saipan, the main island.
All right.
It's pretty interesting.
Alexander, did you want to stay and talk a little further about this?
Yeah, sure.
All right,
I think
stand
it's
by.
something you might find fascinating.
All right, cool. We'll continue here. Alexander is with us from cryptofrontier.org. That is the website talking about a crypto migration to the Northern Mariana Islands. Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting libertycon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's libertycon.com. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Email is easy, instant, and free, and that can be real embarrassing. Email lacks the eye contact and body language you get in face-to-face conversation, or the tone of voice and other nuance you hear in a telephone conversation. Email is just words, often few words. We're all smothering in spam, so we often reply in terse fashion that's easy to misunderstand. And email doesn't cost you a postage stamp, and it lacks the deliberation time it'd take to walk to the snail mail box. So it's easy to succumb to the "oh yeah" stimulus response trap. When in doubt, don't snap back at snippy messages you get. You may have mistaken the sender's intent. And unless you're sending AOL to AOL, there's no unsend. For more tips on critical communication skills for the way things are now, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live.
Why would they go around bombing people around the world? Doesn't that make us less safe?
Oh, you know what? I guess some of these people got it coming. It's a good day to be dead if you're a terrorist search.
How many of the people that the U.S. military has killed in the last decade have been terrorists?
A whole bunch of them. You know what?
percentage?
You sound like some liberal church.
What percentage?
A lot of people.
I'm not a liberal, sir. Liberals support war, from what I can tell.
Take a look. Obama support war when we need it. We have justifiable war. You know, as people like you triumph when good men do nothing, you jerk.
Wait a second, Charlie.
I'm the jerk. I'm not bombing anyone.
You can feel however you feel about me, but Smedley Butler, the two-time Medal of Honor winning Marine, felt the same way.
Well, you know what? MacArthur had it the right way. You know what? We should have went after China. We should have chased those tricoms across that river, and we should have bombed them. We should have nuked them. We should have...
You are horrible.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM. You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live, and you may join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We're talking about freedom migrations. The most successful, of course, is the one that we're a part of, Chris, you and I. People who love freedom migrating to New Hampshire. And that's been going on as a movement for at least the last 15 or so years. But now there's a new competitor on the block, the Crypto Frontier, which is more of a crypto-oriented project. However, our very own Mark Edge is pretty excited about it, and he's packing his bags and making the move to Saipan coming up here. Or actually, I don't think he's even sure which part of the islands, because there's 3 mostly somewhat populated islands within the chain of 14 islands. Saipan.
If
is
he's
the
not
biggest
going to
one.
the main island, he's crazy.
He may be crazy.
He's crazy.
You know?
He's absolutely. I can't say it on the radio, but yeah, crazy.
So, I mean, yeah, to me, if I were going to go there, I'd want to be the population zone personally, because there's just more to do. There's more stuff going on. But he seems to be interested in all 3 of the options.
Yeah,
so
you ain't getting your Amazon Prime on that remote island there, buddy.
I don't think Amazon Prime's available. Is it? Alexander is with us here from the Northern Mariana Islands. He's actually live in Saipan right now. It's about noon 30 there. Can you get Amazon Prime all the way out in the middle of the Pacific?
You can buy Amazon Prime subscription anywhere, but there's no 2-day delivery. That's for sure.
Yes, exactly.
They do ship here, and it's you can order pretty much everything you can order in the mainland, but there's a little bit of a delay.
Are there any issues with customs? I mean, as now, Mariana Islands is not a different country. It's part of the United States. But one of the things that I've heard, and I don't know if it's true, is that there's some corrupt customs agents there that will they get in the way? Are there any? Have you heard anything about that?
Usually the corruption in that regard works in one's favor. One of the, if you're friends with a customs agent, you might be able to get a little something in without paying your fees. But for the average person, it's mainly just another bureaucratic inconvenience.
Mm-hmm.
But given the low duties, the exemption from the tariffs, right? Keep in mind all of those tariffs that you guys have to pay in the mainland.
25%. Yeah, on almost all electronic, I think on all electronics, and I think a lot of other stuff now too. So
hold up, what?
Solar panels, steels,
they're exempt from those tariffs.
That's pretty significant, but
part of our different.
Those will probably go away
one of the benefits.
when Trump is out of office. Hopefully, cross our fingers.
You're saying the tariffs Trump put in are not affecting the Mariana Islands?
Yeah, so we're treated, the Mariana Islands, as like a less developed nation, right? There's different statuses when you're doing trades, which determine which WTO tariffs you get and all that kind of stuff. So we're treated differently than the rest of the U.S. The treaty the U.S. signed with the Mariana Islands when it joined said that it would be treated in the most favorable way possible. So that's why it's exempt from many of these trade war restrictions and tariffs.
Interesting.
So for all you business-minded people out here, there could be some opportunities in importing through Saipan, adding some value, and then shipping it to the mainland.
I'm wondering what sort of unemployment benefits does a government there offer for someone just getting started out, like food stamps, EBT? Does it get just money?
Yeah, you qualify for the federal programs here.
Oh,
you don't pay money to the Treasury, but you get the money from the Treasury to here.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
That is kind of cool.
Unique position.
Now, is it true that the island people, the natives, are more likely to be on welfare? Is that or just a nasty rumor?
I don't have the data, so I can't speak to it empirically. But I'll say that it's different than the Northeast Protestant work ethic. I'll just say that their pace of life is slower. It's more like the manana culture than they're we got to be busy. The most important thing in the Northeast, it seems, is to be busy. Whenever you ask them, how are you? It's busy. And it's as if you're proud of it. Here, it's sort of the opposite. You know, they're proud to spend time with their family, to relax, to enjoy the beautiful landscape and quality of life offered here.
There's nothing else to do. There's no jobs.
Well, now wait a minute. Is that true? There's no jobs?
What's the job situation like? How many job hire signs have you seen? And do they actually have any decent jobs? Right? Like I would love to move, but like I want to actually make.
Well, you have your own business.
But
you're asking for people that need a job.
Right.
There's a lot of people that.
What jobs can I get?
Yeah, so it has a very large percentage of business ownership, much higher than the mainland U.S. Many people have their own small stores, salons, or other businesses. In terms of the
but what's the pay?
industries,
What's the profits on that business?
It will vary significantly from business to business. Enough to survive for most of them, or they'll close.
Well, I want to have him have the chance to answer your original question, Chris. You asked about jobs.
Yeah.
Do you see now hiring signs when you're walking around Saipan or biking about? What are your thoughts on?
So there's a pretty tight labor market right now. If anything, there's a little bit of a shortage of labor. The best industry for someone moving in who wants like a white-collar industry would either be education, healthcare, or government. Those would be the biggest like white-collar employments that you're looking for.
When you say education, like government education, like public school, or is there like a big private education industry on the island?
Yeah, there's a surprising amount of private schools. Saipan has about 50,000 people, and I believe there's 6 private schools there. There's even a Montessori school, some Christian schools, a wide variety, some catering to international Korean or Chinese students, as well as public school. In fact, 25% of tax revenue is allocated towards education, which is an interesting thing here.
Is it true that the majority of the people on the island aren't even from there, meaning that there's a large immigration or large immigrant population?
Yeah, one way to look at it is the registered voters. There's 19,000 registered voters and about 50 to 60,000 people here. So it's sort of like a Dubai type area where the voters or residents are vastly outnumbered by foreign nationals, primarily from the Philippines.
Interesting. So a lot of these folks from the Philippines, China, Japan, because it's close to all of these places, Korea, they're working there. They're coming there to work because, as I mentioned earlier, one of the interesting things about this place, even though it's part of the United States, it doesn't have the same immigration rules, meaning that there's no limit to the number of people who can be brought in with, what is it called, an H-1B or H-2B work visa? Is that correct?
Yeah, so there's H-1B caps in the mainland, which is exempt. Guam and the Northern Mariana Islands were exempted from those caps. In addition, there's a Saipan or Mariana Islands only visa called the CW visa, which has a cap of, I believe, 13,000, but it's not currently hit. So there's still excess room.
And what does that do? Is that just for visitors or people who are staying for long terms? What is the CW?
It's a short-term non-immigrant worker visa, although there's people who've been on it for 20 years. So it's one of those, short-term in quotes, and it's often used for H-1B is supposed to be someone who has 4 years of college education or the local equivalent, high-skilled white-collar worker. And CW is supposed to be for the non-4-year educated workers.
I see.
But it's kind of relaxed here. They use each for the other.
That sounds like it's fairly easy to move, at least from outside the U.S. then.
Which is a strong motivator, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That makes this different in a major way.
A worldwide movement as opposed to a more U.S.
Because
movement.
It's so disappointing when libertarians from, let's say, Europe or wherever contact us and are like, I would love to move to New Hampshire, but I don't know how. I don't know what, it's impossible, basically. You can't, unless you can get married to somebody. You pretty much are SOL as far as.
I don't know if it's that difficult though. Especially most of your Western countries. I think it's more difficult for certain.
It is still not easy, dude. There is
a
a guy in Europe who would love to move out here, and he sent us emails, and there's just no way for him to do it. That's an easy way, Whereas here it sounds like all you just got to do is find a job.
I'm sure it's easy compared to like trying to move to New Hampshire, but.
Yeah, so that's a big deal. Hey, Crypto Frontier, a.k.a. Alex, man, thanks for coming on. Anything else you want to share real fast? Go ahead.
I'll talk with you guys at some point in the future. Have a good night.
Thanks, dude, or enjoy your day. Enjoy the afternoon there in Mariana Islands, calling us from middle of the day. in the middle of the Pacific. Not even really the middle of the Pacific. It's almost all the way over towards like the Philippines. So pretty much it's like as far away from Hawaii as Hawaii is from the United States, basically. It's out
far.
there.
It's really out there.
There's more coming up here. You can share your thoughts with us. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. This is Free Talk Live.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
How would you like to hit the range tomorrow with a brand new gun? Because the United States Concealed Carry Association wants to give you a free gun right now. That's right, completely free. The USCCA is here to give every responsibly armed American the education, training, legal, and financial protection they need. And today, they're giving you not one, but 4 free chances to win $1,000. Simply text GCN to 87222 to get entered now, and you'll get 4 free chances to win $1,000 for any gun you want. Text GCN to 87222 and get entered today. But remember, these free guns won't be around forever, and you can't win if you don't enter. So don't miss out. Just text GCN to 87222 and get your 4 free chances to win now. That's GCN to 87222.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
The political world is a maddening cesspool of corruption and lies. Nobody tells the truth. Nobody keeps campaign promises. Nobody obeys the Constitution. Nobody puts the people first. How can we ever escape this web of tyranny? Vote for nobody.
Hi, my name is Nobody. I'm running for governor of New Hampshire because nobody knows how to live your life better than you do, and nobody deserves that kind of power. I want to put you back in control of your money, your lifestyle, your work, your body, and your life. Nobody should rule you but you. New Hampshire convicts many people of so-called crimes that should never have been prosecuted. If elected, I will pardon every victimless crime in New Hampshire history. This includes drug, gambling, prostitution, gun, and driving offenses. Nobody should have a criminal record when they have not harmed anybody.
Wouldn't it be nice to have nobody telling you what to do? Learn more at electnobody.com. electnobody.com.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms. You may join them over at discord.lrn.fm. And by the way, Alexander calling from the middle of the Pacific Ocean sounded great on Discord. There wasn't even any appreciable delay or anything like that. From what I understand, they do actually have like a fiber optic cable running from Japan to the Marianas, and that's why they've got pretty good internet.
It sounds like they have a fairly solid internet connection from the sounds of what he was saying. And
they're not using satellite.
It's probably right, and it's probably the result of Guam, the military bases on Guam, I suspect.
It does run by Mariana before it goes to Guam, I think.
Right, and it does. Keep in mind, this is still. So he was saying there was 100 megabits per second internet connections available on the island.
He says those are available. Yeah.
So that's not,
or 50 probably is your typical tier.
Yeah, that's not great, but it's not. It's up until recently, it wasn't any worse than Keene.
Yeah, up until recently, it was better. That would have been better than Keene up until just a few years ago.
Yeah.
And I imagine you could pay more and get more. But local.bitcoin.com is an international platform, by the way. If you haven't checked it out yet, if you want to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash, you can do it with dozens of payment methods, and you can actually protect your privacy because there are no ID requirements to join the site at local.bitcoin.com. Plus, all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted, so head on over to local.bitcoin.com to get started trading with Bitcoin Cash. We can continue with your calls and thoughts. We'll start with Robbie in Phoenix, listening online. Go ahead, Robbie. Hello.
Tom Salami rot in hell.
What?
Criminal and mass murderer that he was.
Who?
What a surprise.
Who did he say?
He's talking about the Iranian
mass murder you were
general.
talking about earlier today.
Oh, okay.
You so glibly, Vincent mentioned only murdered a contractor.
A mercenary.
Plus hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of other innocent human beings, including a lot of Americans. Like, that makes a difference. But I should like to
I'd
say
just
to
like to
you,
say thank you for actually
Vincent,
being on topic for once. Go ahead.
Hey, scumbag, you're never going to get away with lying about me on the public airwaves, Minister Bernard, ever. I guarantee you, if you don't do as I say, I'm going to hurt Jack Edgington and his disgusting family.
Really? How are you going to do that?
You sound like a super villain.
How are you going to do that? How are you going to hurt those people?
Vincent, there's a 100% chance there is a hell that the person you were lamenting about being killed by our president, like, that's a bad thing.
No, I wasn't lamenting. I mean, I think it's going to start a war.
The preachers that lie. What was he doing in Iraq, scumbag?
Well, what's the Americans doing in Iraq?
Violating country's sovereignty. He's been violating other countries' sovereignty as if there's such a thing in a libertarian dope worldview to begin with. But let me give you some advice. You pothead dirtbag loser.
Nothing's better than advice no one asked for.
You're looking
Go ahead.
at a preacher that lies, that there's 100% chance if he doesn't repent and atone, even his parents are going to be glad when he stops breathing and gone to hell. You best start wising up, you scumbag, because I'm going to hurt Jack Edgington.
Why?
I'm going to ruin
What
his
does he
life
have to
if you
repent
don't do what
for?
I say.
So wait, James,
And by the way,
can we
he just doesn't stop.
Can we look forward to you coming to Keene?
I'm putting him on hold.
In about a week or so, are you going to come to Keene for your court appearance, James, or is Mark just going to fearmonger and scare everyone? Not me. For no reason.
Was I on mute while I was trying to talk?
Yeah, because you keep on rambling all the way through when somebody's trying to talk
James,
to
are
you.
you coming to Keene next week? Are you coming to Keene next week?
I keep having to mute his ass because he doesn't stop talking. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Mark Edgington's going to go down to prosecutor Mark Nifon and profusely apologize for playing him.
Who? What did you just say? Mark's going to do what?
Discord app, or I'm going to ruin the prosecutor's life and the judge's.
What prosecutor?
As well. I'm not the slightest bit worried
Just made
about
threats against the prosecutor and judge.
What anti-status made like a status and went and saw.
What are you talking about? What prosecutor?
Hey, Vincent. How is Mark Edgington's ugly wife and child doing?
What are you? Hold on. What prosecutor are you talking about?
If she's ugly, why would I want?
Ugly wife and child doing.
I only commit adultery with attractive wives.
Fine.
So I wouldn't know.
He doesn't want to have a conversation, but it did sound like he was threatening a prosecutor and a judge.
Definitely just threatened the prosecutor and a judge.
I have to say, from a libertarian point of view, that's pretty badass.
Listening?
How can we listen to you when you don't stop talking?
Over me when I try to respond to a question. Mark Edgington is going to go down to the prosecutor and profusely apologize. I'm going to
What
hurt his
prosecutor,
child.
dude?
And I told the FBI agent exactly how I'm going to ruin Jack Edgington's life and his horror lures as
Tell
well.
us how you're
And
going to do
hopefully
it.
his
Let's hear
mom
it. How are you going to ruin Jack
suffers.
Edgington's life? He's 11 years
I'm
old.
not going to tell you, you loser. Just as don't seem to find objectionable a so-called minister of peace and
Have
love.
you been drinking
and
tonight?
He trusts the
anti-statist.
FBI more than you, Ian.
No,
He won't tell you.
Again, I love that insult. You like to go to that reflex. And by the way, I don't have 3 Deweys. If only if I had a Bitcoin for every time you said in the public airways that I do.
You're the only one who
I'm
keeps
gonna hurt
bringing it
you.
up, dude.
I'm going to hurt you, Ian Bernard. And
Really?
I told the
Oh, this is new.
No, it's not new.
FBI
Oh,
sorry. Come on, don't leave Chris out. What do you want to do to Chris?
2,500 miles away from me. Because if I
Well,
broke your neck,
Vincent tried
I
to ask you a
guarantee your
question
parents
earlier,
wouldn't
but
give a
you don't
shit.
ever listen.
Whoa,
We
whoa.
can't say that. I heard him say it. He's got to get dumped now.
I
He
still
said
want to
the
know.
S word.
I still want to know what Mark or Jack has to repent for that he wants to kill an 11-year-old.
He doesn't like that we've said previously that he has 3 DUIs on the air.
And also that he made a Facebook page called Things James Wittekind Says.
It's a public record.
Wittekind.
It was a public record, and it was only because he. Okay.
Yeah, he's claiming that the public records that we've seen are not true, and that he does not have those DUIs.
Okay.
As reported by jail.com.
I do really want to know what's with Jack. Why is he threatening Jack like an 11-year-old boy?
Maybe that's all he can take is like an 11-year-old boy. He's worried he can't take on, a full-grown man or something like that. I honestly don't know.
Well, I think that's like, in James's twisted mind. It's like as a parent, none of us are parents here, at least as far as I know. None of us are parents.
No, I'm not.
None of us are parents here. So, I mean, it's like, when you have your child threatened, it's, it's an awful thing because, as they say, no parent should have to bury their own child. But I think James is starting to run out of steam because then he brought up Mark's mom.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are you, 13 years old, James, talking about his mom?
It's pathetic.
I can maybe understand, and I'm not saying I do, but I'm just saying I could maybe understand threatening an 11-year-old boy if he had threatened you or something. But like,
sure.
This is Jack. Like, he doesn't even know you exist, man.
He's just a little kid,
Right. Like,
it's pretty pathetic. And I kept trying to ask him what he meant by prosecutor. Is James being prosecuted for something? Because I haven't heard that. There's a case where he's been summoned to court in New Hampshire, but that's a civil case.
Yeah, which is what I was trying to ask him for. Is he actually going to show up to court, or is it just is nothing going to happen again, like the last time he was supposed to show up?
Well, the last time supposedly he was never served with the paperwork. Okay. And he claimed the last time I talked to him on the air that he has never been served for this particular appearance. So this appearance may end up being canceled too. Or maybe they did serve him and he's lying. So I don't know. It's not my case. I didn't bring the case.
I wouldn't trust the police to actually serve the right person to begin with. So I wouldn't be surprised if in this case he's actually telling the truth.
But either way, even though there's not a prosecutor, he did sound like he was willing to threaten a prosecutor if there was one, and he definitely sounded like he was threatening a judge there during that call. So
he definitely threatened a judge and a prosecutor. Yeah. I don't know which judge or which prosecutor.
Well, there is no prosecutor, so he wasn't threatening a prosecutor. He's not
right. Like he wasn't specific about it, which could be a problem as far as
but one thing's for sure. Hold on. The police. So it was Mark that's brought all these actions against James because he's wants to protect his family. I don't agree with going to the state in this case. I don't either. But
I think in this particular case, it's some crazy dude 2,500 miles away.
I think it's giving him too much attention. I think it's giving him too much.
It's wasting taxpayer money.
But
it's not about that. It's just
the judge is going to be in that court whether or not there's a case.
Yeah, it's not about that.
So it won't increase.
It's just why rile a guy who's got no means and no capability to even harm you other than make threats on love radio.
But what I wanted to say about it was, Mark has gone to the police in Phoenix, where that guy lives. He's gone to the police in Keene. He's even ended up going to the FBI, apparently, about this, which is why he's talking about how he was talking to the FBI, because I guess they found him and were talking to him. But nothing's been done, right? Like there's despite all of the threats that this guy has issued towards Mark and his family and many of the rest of the co-hosts here, nothing has been done. But I bet you if he threatens a judge, all of a sudden, the government's going to be really interested. in doing something.
And that's the irony of James. My show's called Questioning Authority, and he gives me grief for being an anti-statist scumbag, and yet he's shown more disrespect of his state than I ever did. He's threatening a judge, a prosecutor,
ignores court orders.
All of his mugshots, he has a big, dumb grin. He's smiling at the cops.
So anyway, hey, check out your show, Questioning Authority, tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern on LRN.FM. ShireFreeMedia.com is your website. Freedom Decrypted, Chris, is yours over at FreedomDecrypted.com. That's coming back starting tomorrow at 5 p.m.
Saturday
Eastern?
at 5.
Saturday.
It'll be a live show anyway. You can do archives as well at FreedomDecrypted.com.
FreedomDecrypted.com. Check him out there. We'll see you tomorrow. FreeTalkLive.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org. Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at marketfreetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. Marketfreetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, marketfreetalklive.com. I'm a little obsessed with My Magic Mud. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, the founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I didn't even know my teeth were coffee stained. A week's worth of use convinced me, and now I use it every 3 or 4 days. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, and I think it cleans better, too. My Magic Mud's available at most local health food stores, Sprouts, Natural Grocers, CVS, Walmart's Natural Beauty Aisle, but I can get it for you for 20% off with coupon code FTL20 at mymagicmud.com. FTL20 mymagicmud.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
The latest episode of Questioning Authority is next after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,521, silver at $17.89, and Bitcoin is trading around $7,139. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing 1 or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, a number of Russian soldiers were badly beaten and airlifted to a hospital after a fistfight with American troops in Syria last week. According to the UK-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, the incident occurred on December 25th in the city of Tal Tamar in northeast Syria. When U.S. troops arrived to collect information from local residents, the latter reportedly reacted negatively and accused the Americans of betraying them with the withdrawal of U.S. forces from the area. Russian soldiers in the area then confronted the Americans, at which point they argued. That led to a fistfight between the soldiers. No weapons were used, and no major casualties were reported at first. It was then revealed that 3 of the Russian soldiers were beaten so severely that they required urgent medical attention. According to Russian media outlet The Military Review, the Israeli media also drew attention to the incident, although the Russian Defense Ministry has officially denied that it even took place. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of Kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Thousands of Iraqi protesters attacked various parts of the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad on Tuesday, after U.S. airstrikes killed dozens of Iran-backed Iraqi militia over the weekend. The attack on the embassy has been widely documented on Twitter, with videos and pictures showing the destruction. The Mind Unleashed reports that one freelance journalist recorded the moment